Welcome to the Ascent Tournament Series mainstream. How are you all doing? I'm Sporty FC, and you've joined us for the $100 Ascent Tournament Series Season 4 Ukiyo Esports Catalyst Cup Final Bracket. Welcome everybody to the Ascent Tournament Series mainstream, and to where the Catalyst Cup will see its conclusion. I am Sporty FC, one of the directors of the Ascent Tournament Series, and we've been gone for a little bit trying to prepare you all for this final bracket. We've already crowned 3 champions in 3 of our 5 divisions. This weekend, we'll see our last 2 divisions come to a close. I think it was, 3 weeks ago, we started with the Sporty FC Ascension Cup, where it was the Burger Joint who took the win at the end. Then, a day after that, it was the House Boyfriend Pinnacle Cup, where it was 100X Knights taking the victory, reclaiming what they could not do the season before. And a week after that, 2 weeks ago, it was the 125 Esports Phoenix Cup, which saw Evolve Eclipse take down the division in quite dominant fashion. Well, tonight is again our Ukiyo Esports Catalyst Cup, so you'll be joining us here for a long night of Rocket League, and this is going to be a great series. I'm excited to see what's going to happen tonight here, as we've got so many amazing players showing up in a really fun bracket. It's simple tonight. 8-team single elimination. You lose, and your run is over. You win, and you're moving on to the next round of the tournament. $100 split between the top 2 teams here. So yeah, at this point, it's our top 8 teams of what has been our biggest division to history. 32 teams signed up for the Catalyst Cup this season. What was, which is 8 teams more than our previous biggest, 24 teams last season in our Advent Cup as well, which now is our Phoenix Cup. So again, a big division, a lot of great teams, a lot of great players showing up. The real question is going to come down to who will perform when they need to. Again, with 8-team single elimination, this is it for tonight here. There's only so far you can go. And again, you already saw, I think, on the slideshow what our match is going to be. It's going to be that first one, Geriatric, Goliaths Yellow versus LeJit Rose. But there are 3 other matches happening tonight. Maxine, Maxine, 0_O, we're streaming Americanada versus Storm Syndicate. You also have Your Throwing Iris versus RC Velocity, streamed by Etch-a-Sketch55, Etch-E-T-C-H, S-K-E-T-C-H 55. And then at the very bottom, it is Tesla, or WaTesla, streaming Affinity Mirage versus Aura Hornets, W-A-T-E-S-L-A. So, what a night we will have here. And again, what a first round matchup we have as well. Geriatric, Goliaths Yellow, many consider our best team this season, taking on LeJit Rose, a bit of a sleeper team coming through the regular season, although not really much of a sleeper team. A team that also did very well, just was overshadowed in their own group. Geriatric Goliaths again with the top team of Group A, the pretty competitive Group A as well, with Ukiyo Raijin, Oasis Samurai, and Ukiyo Inyo there with them. And again, many consider them the best team in the division. They're 7-0, the only team that went 7-0 this season, with a plus 17 game differential. And many consider them a team that would be a walk-in top-tier team, and they were, essentially, in their final bracket qualifier, beating both Ukiyo Holshi and then Team Evo Starlight. The only problem is, though, they have not exactly had an easy season, and their group has not exactly stood out as being one of the tougher ones this season. They are the only team from Group A to be in this final bracket, so while they are still a very good team, the fact that none of the other teams behind them were able to make this top 8 should definitely bring in some clarity into, what in the world is happening here. You compare that to Group C, the group that LeJit Rose is in. They're 6-1, and again, a very good record. By all means, only one of a couple teams to have hit only one loss during the regular season. They were, unfortunately, though, overshadowed by the work of Affinity and Mirage, who are also in this final bracket for LeJit Rose. Their one loss in that final bracket qualifier came to YT Iris, the team that went out in Group B. And for Group C, though, the thing that is going to be interesting for LeJit Rose, they're in what I think many consider the toughest group this season. Of the 4 teams that made it out of that group, all 4 of them are in the top 8. So, and that means that Affinity Mirage, LeJit Rose, RC Velocity, and Aura Hornets, all of which are from Group C, have made it to the final bracket. Aura Hornets got into the final bracket qualifier with a record of 4-3, and yet because they're in the top 8, it to tell you just how scary Group C is, that all 4 of those teams have made it this far. And again, that is compared to Group A, who only have 1 team, and again, Geriatric Goliaths Yellow, Group B and YT Iris being the only team that's made it, and Group D, who themselves have 4 teams make it. Americanada and then Storm Syndicate right behind them. Group D, a group that many kind of have questions for, but I'll be able to see how Group C plays, because again, it's Affinity and Mirage who are playing against Aura Hornets. It is LeJit Rose, who again are going to play here against Geriatric Goliaths Yellow, and then RC Velocity, who again are playing against YT Iris. It'll be interesting to see how many of those Group C teams make it past round 1, considering that all the teams that are leading in this final bracket actually are the teams that led their groups. Geriatric Goliaths Yellow, You're Throwing Iris, Affinity and Mirage, Americanada are all the top seeds in this final bracket. So, no questions on who's leading the season and who's going to be leading this final bracket. Again, the fact that all the top teams from the regular season are all playing here should definitely give you an idea of how they're going to perform. Again, I think this Catalyst Cup is definitely one that seems to have the tendency to be a bit one-sided at times. Still, this final bracket is really going to require everything from these players to perform. All matches tonight are best of 7. Tactical timeouts are included, so teams, if they need to, can take an extra minute in between games to talk things out, to reset. We've seen it used before. It hasn't changed the series round too drastically so far this season, but we'll see if that changes at all, because it has definitely had its impact. Again, as we close in on our match start time, I think a little bit more information for you all on this matchup will be definitely interesting. Geriatric Goliaths Yellow, now the only team out of Geriatric Goliaths playing in this tournament. They had Geriatric Goliaths Blue also competing, a team that could not get out of the regular season, went 2-5 in Group C. Obviously, we now know how tough Group C was. They may be a better team than we thought they were. But, simply put, there's only 2 teams here for Geriatric Goliaths. Whereas on the other side here, LeJit Rose, one of the only team that's made it top 8, but one of 2 teams in the Ukiyo Esports Catalyst Cup this season out of LeJit Esports. The other being LeJit Sapphire, who didn't even get through the whole first stage of the season, going 0-7 on their record, and forfeiting before the season was even done. So LeJit Rose want to hold themselves high for their organization, but they're not the first time we've seen LeJit here. It is the first time we've seen Geriatric Goliaths, not the first time again we've seen LeJit Esports compete, although it is, I believe, the first time LeJit Esports have actually made the final bracket last season. In the Advent Cup, LeJit Rain tried to top the division, although they were unable to do so, having a season that ended 2-5, not good enough to get through the first part of the season. The only other team for LeJit that even competed was LeJit Auroras in the Ascendant Cup last season, who also went 2-5 and did not make it out of their group. So this is definitely going to be, this is LeJit Esports' first time in the final bracket for Geriatric Goliaths on their first season in the Ascend Tournament Series. Very important for both these teams to get off to a good start. This prediction poll is live, so get your votes on who you think will win this one. It's Geriatric Goliaths Yellow or LeJit Rose. We'll be heading into our match start time here. Reminder, there are 3 other matches happening. I will be giving you all updates, so if you guys want to, stick around for all the action. Again, we're going to be here all night long with Rocket League action. After this match, we will actually be switching to Semifinals number 2, the one that we'll be seeing either You're Throwing Iris, RC Velocity, Affinity Mirage, or Hornets make it that far. Switching there, and then of course we'll have the grand finals. We'll also be having some guests joining us later tonight, but for now it is just you all watching and me here streaming it all. And again, what a night it will be! So many amazing names this season, and again, specifically on the side of Geriatric Goliaths Yellow, definitely focus on the work of Winner POV. He's been here a lot. He's been in on I think almost every single one of their matches. And he's got a pretty strong rating here, a rating of 1.05, averaging a goal per game and over 1 save per game, including an assist every 3 games. So, very strong performance so far for LeJit Rose. It's a relatively new roster, but it is going to really be a question of how well is their captain going to play in Sharkfin Huaha. I always love the silly names they have in the Catalyst Cup in these divisions, because they always have some great names. Gotta love the name Sharkfin Huaha, who will actually be playing tonight as well, alongside Bulldog POV, and who else is joining them here tonight? We'll get an answer on that soon. But I know for tonight, Geriatric Goliaths Yellow playing with Crowd, Winner POV, and Funny Side. So their usual starting 3, that roster has not changed all season. And those have been the 3 players that have really been repping this team all season long. And they very rarely had to use their sub in Labonka. It will not be any different here tonight. So let's get ourselves into the series as we're going to get ourselves into it. Again, reminder, all matches are best of 7. It's going to be an amazing time, an amazing, amazing series. I really do thank you all for showing up to the championship date of the Ascend Tournament Series. As again, we are just about ready to get things underway. Geriatric Goliaths Yellow, the top team all season, versus LeJit Rose, a bit of a sleeper team, although not really a team that hasn't proven themselves. For both these orgs, it's their first time in the final bracket, but for one of them, that time will end soon. LeJit Rose on the blue, Geriatric Goliaths Yellow on the orange, and it has been confirmed it is actually going to be their late sub, showing up in Stumbling End, the player who has been in the Ascent Tournament Series before, but not in the final bracket. Geriatric Goliaths Yellow, the only teams through the first stage of the season to go 7-0. LeJit Rose, a 6-1 record, only falling short to Affinity Mirage in a group where all 4 of the teams that made it through the first stage were also able to make it to the final bracket. The pressure is on. The lights are here. Who will be on top? Stumbling End takes the first goal. And LeJit Rose, the heavy underdogs this matchup, but I've always said this before in other matches. If you're the underdog, it is more credit to you if you can get on the board first. And LeJit Rose do just that here in Game 1. As they're still not done. Bulldog POV. Bulldog PNG gonna clear the zone away. Funny side, off the back wall. We know POV can't get the touch, and neither will Crowd. Sharkfin Hoo-Ha takes the second, and LeJit Rose continue their scoring. An onslaught of offense early on. LeJit Rose giving them nothing to go through. Goals already. Many of them. And sure many to come. As LeJit Rose take a early lead against the tournament favorites. As mentioned already, every top seed of each group have all made it to the top seeds of the quarterfinals. Unlike last season where teams didn't have to buy into it, had to work for it, these top seeds had to in the final bracket qualifier, but again, they all were able to get 2 wins, get out of that double elimination bracket, and make it this far. Still, single elimination now. You only have 1 life. Forget about that second life they had earlier. It's now or never. Win or go home. Again, considering just how tough these brackets can be, you really need to prove you have what it takes, and right now, LeJit Rose are doing just that. That is 3 goals unanswered so far. As Geriatric Goliaths Yellow, not moving with a purpose. And there is a real issue right now with this team not being able to get things going. As Bulldog PNG off the back wall, winner POV, a very awkward looking challenge. Didn't really look like he was exactly comfortable in that position. But he'll get away with this one as winner POV trying to find the first goal for Geriatric Goliaths, but that play will fall short here as Bulldog challenged by Funny Side as Geriatric Goliaths will go the other way. A very young organization, kind of at the very beginning of their history. We've seen a couple burgeoning orgs really get their start out here in this season. Another good example would be Oralis, or otherwise known as Aura, or Hornets, who are also in our top 8, another new organization, or Ruth Regime, a team that just missed out on the top 8 final bracket. But it really feels like this Ukiyo Esports Cycling Catalyst Cup has been the starting point for a lot of young organizations. And yet, still we wait, see how they do. The old guard team organizations like LeJit Rose know what they're doing. They've been here before, but this is again a very new position for LeJit. The first time any of their teams have made top 8 in the Ascent Tournament Series. And they're really going to make sure they make this time last, and they make this time really pay off. It's Funny Side. Sidewall, winnow POV. Get by Stumbling End, and this is a good chance for Crowd. He will be challenged as cleared away again. LeJit Rose not letting anything get past that midfield. And again, you just see them quick challenge in the midfield. It's essentially like a fine line they're keeping between their half and the orange half of the field. They're doing pretty well at holding it here as an infield play. Crowd gets challenged. It will be kept away as Sharkfin Hoo-Ha will take control as a dribble. Bulldog. Up the sidewall. Nobody there to get it. Sharkfin stopped by Crowd as stumbling in will keep the offense. Still no goals for Geriatric Goliaths, a team that generally keeps matches rather close. The fact that they've gone on by 3 goals so quickly this game really, in many ways, does spell doom for them. Again, this is not a team that scores a lot, but it's also not a team that gives up a lot, so that's what makes them so scary, because they keep things close. They aren't exactly a team that's going to run away with games. As a dunk will be right back to Sharkfin Hoo-Ha. Crowd. Bulldog will win the challenge as LeJit Rose will clear it away. Funny side. Sends this one back as Sharkfin. Untouched. Clears it out. Stumbling end will not be there in time. And it is the first of the night for Geriatric Goliaths. As Crowd will jump in the way. He's their biggest scorer all season. And you gotta like that kind of tenacity just to jump in like that. That is a very risky challenge, but he's got faith in his teammates to get the bumps. Leave the space open. And it's the first of the night for Geriatric Goliaths Yellow. Again, our tournament favorites. The only team this season to go a perfect 7-0. A few teams actually in the entirety of this season that have been able to go perfect all season. It's funny side. Gets dunked. As this one's saved away by LeJit. Crowd will look for another chance in front. Funny side. Jumping. He's going to win this one. And it's a second for GG Yellow. But you can't say it's over just yet. As it's a massive challenge in front. Funny side will be the one to take it. Geriatric Goliaths. Well, they've got hope, that's for sure. A lot of it. As they continue to try to fight their way back, and they get one more. Winner POV. Keeps it airborne. Looking midfield. He'll go to net himself. Bulldog beat, but just gets enough on this one. Funny side. Keeps things airborne, but it will hit the floor. And LeJit Rose will take game 1. The underdogs showing up early. It was 3 goals almost immediately from them. And from there on out, Geriatric Goliaths pushed back ever so much. And for Geriatric Goliaths, I mean, they're not ones that are going to make any changes, that's for sure. It really does come down to how do you return? How do you perform? Now that you know that your opponents are really up to the challenge here. Geriatric Goliaths team is not one that's going to drop down very easily here, but again, we'll have to see how things are going. As actually a fun little update on the league. Of the 4 quarterfinals, 3 of them have started off with the underdogs winning. Or Hornets took the first game against Affinity Mirage. And Americanada lost their first game to Storm Syndicate, so all the underdogs really taking it to these teams that gone 2-0 in the Final Bracket qualifier. I think the most surprising one here is the Hornets match. They lost to Affinity Mirage in the regular season, if I'm not mistaken, so very impressed with how they're playing here, knowing that this is a team that they've already had to play before. But for now, we are into game 2. LeJit Rose, they've gone off to a really good start in game 1, but they struggled at the end of that game, admittedly. They really only got goals in the first minute or so, and I don't know if they have any more left in them. They need to find ways to not just score in a row, but score consistently. You may be able to get off to good starts, but it is not about how you start these matches, it's about how you end them. And if you can't end the game as well as you started it, you're going to drop some eventually. And it's funny side. Sharkfin Hoo-Ha clears. Bulldog already up for this one. Gets by winner POV. It will be left waiting, stumbling in, trying to find the bottom right corner. Here goes Sharkfin, but he's missed the net. That could have been so much better, as now goes Bulldog. Corner. Second touch won't be made. And LeJit Rose will hold on to possession, though. And I love this, the reliance on just going at it in the midfield. Geriatric Goliaths, I think, are so used to teams rolling over for them, recognizing how good this team and how consistent they have been. They've now finally, I think, met a team that doesn't want that out of them, and is trusting in themselves more than they're respecting the Geriatric Goliaths. And you're seeing a real staunch midfield right now out of LeJit Rose that it's going to be very tough to break down, but break down it will eventually. As Sharkfin gets to them on funny side. Bulldog going to get this one away, but will be beat by winner POV. Sharkfin Huaha. Long touch, stumbling end, already airborne, but funny side is there. Crowd with open room will find the corner. Bulldog. Oh, it is right to winner POV. That's off the back wall. Bulldog will be waiting for it. As funny side will go once more, looking for one last touch. He'll get it as well. And the Geriatric Goliaths have taken lead in game 2. As he just waited. All funny side's doing there is he's waiting. He's waiting for those players to challenge. Because once they do, he has that second touch. And they know it. He knows it. We'll know it. Not really much you can do there to slow him down in any way. Very tough to read those challenges. The demo will open things up here as Bulldog. Winner POV, trying to go to his own back net here as Bulldog again. Jumping in the play, crowd. Oh, gets that redirect. Stumbling end will cover just fine for it here as another touch to the corner. Stumbling end. Gonna leave this in the midfield. Sharkfin is there. It's lobbed on the net. Saved away by winner POV. Funny side will clear. Bulldog keeps the midfield going. And LeJit Rose again staunch in their defense as Sharkfin. Well, that's gone the wrong direction. Stumbling end is there. I believe the only player that's actually returned since last season. Well on again, another LeJit team. Again, no LeJit team has ever made the top 8 in any SN Tournament Series seasonal playoffs. For LeJit Rose, a great opportunity for themselves. Cleared away again, stumbling end. They'll hold on to this one as cleared away, but not past winner POV, that's for sure. The offense sticks is funny side. Jumping up in the air is crowd. He's got room. Challenged by Sharkfin Huaha. As winner POV across the goal line, but no one there to capitalize. Funny side. Sharkfin Huaha. With a minute to go here. Geriatric Goliaths again holding that 1 goal lead, and while it might not seem like much of a lead, the Geriatric Goliaths, again, they're a team that doesn't score a lot, but doesn't give a lot either. Every goal for them is a gut punch to LeJit Rose, and that one especially, because this was completely self-inflicted. Bulldog just jumped too far out, didn't have control, and by the time Sharkfin recognized, it was far too late. A sizable lead now for Geriatric Goliaths, and again for LeJit Rose. They only saw second half that if they can get goals early, Geriatric Goliaths do not come back very often when they get scored on first. Again, what they do so well is they defend so well, you're not going to get many early goals against them. Their defense is just that good. And in a division where most teams don't seem to have very good defense, they're the difference maker, and that's why they are 7-0. It's winner POV. To go airborne, we'll get a little touch by. This crowd. Pinched back. Bulldog. 10 seconds to go, but at this point it's all confirmed. Game 2 will be for LeJit Rose. What many consider to be our closest division in terms of rank of all these teams. And I wouldn't disagree. It's going to be a very tough matchup. I think all these matches could have the likelihood of going to Game 7. We could have a very long final bracket tonight. But I'm here for it. I don't think anybody's denying that long matches aren't exciting to see. And that is Game 2, so our night continues, and well, we are here. We're going to be here for the long run, and that's for sure. As again, we will be moving into Game 3 shortly here. But so far, so far it's been rather even, to say the very least. I don't really know what else I can say about this. It's just been an even matchup. And again, with all the other matches happening around the league, I'll give you updates as they near their close. But what a night it's going to be here. So many teams. And again, we are here for a long, long night. Again, it's not our only night of action, though, because tomorrow we'll be seeing more Rocket League. The Team Evo Apex Cup will be tomorrow night, ending off our incredible season of action. As we're moving into Game 3 here. And it is, well, an even series at this point. We'll have to see how long it stays that way, as both these teams really shown up what they have to do. But Geriatric, again, it's that defense out of them that's going to be really tough to crack. They have always been known as a really strong defensive team. Any goals you can get them is a hugely impressive, because they just don't give you openings. Not only these teammates, not only all these players have been teammates for a while at this point. This team hasn't made any change during the regular season. But again, they just stand tall so well. I mean, look at what they're doing there. You think they should be getting scored on there. And yet somehow Funnyside comes up with that play. And I think one of the big things that Geriatric don't do is they don't panic too often. They just put themselves in position, although unfortunately for them, being in position doesn't always save you. And it won't save them there. Because that is, well, one goal for the LeJit Rose. As this, again, that early goal, and I said it, one thing Geriatric struggle to do, because they don't score much, they don't come back very often from deficits. They do not like to overcommit. And while they can push up quite high, if you can get a goal or two on them early, this team generally has issues with being able to manage their time. Sense of urgency for Geriatric is not exactly one of their strong points. It'll be something that LeJit Rose, if they can really utilize, they have a very good chance of beating this team, although again, it's going to take a lot to do so. And again, that is if they can keep this up. It is not going to happen that easily. Because Geriatric will still find ways to score on you, as Funnyside catches Bulldog BNG a bit too slow on the turnaround. He does an excellent job at getting the ball away. Funnyside bumped into the action. Now pinched with Bulldog PNG. Shark Vanuaha challenged by Funnyside. He's got a bit of an awkward touch there, but stumbling end will clear. Crowd. And their highest scorer, if there's anyone to watch out for in terms of scoring, it will be Crowd on Geriatric. But at this point, I don't think he really cares who scores as long as somebody does it. He'll jump in. That touch straight in the path of stumbling end. Funnyside is there. Look at this waiting. He's still waiting. And not just to add even more pressure to Geriatric, but coming into the season, they were the highest seeded team, so there was already an amount of pressure on them earlier. At the start of the season, being that they were the highest by average rank. But again, they'll get this ball away, keep the offense going. Here's a long touch. Funnyside gets this one by Sharkfin. Stumbling end. We'll get up to the air, but it's a bit of an awkward play. Winner POV will be pinched across. As Bulldog bumps out by Crowd. With open room, he'll get around stumbling end. Now Shark Vanua. Crowd. Waiting on it is Crowd. Now Funnyside jumps into the play. Here goes Winner POV. Up to the air, looking for the ground. But he won't get much on that one. Just a dunk though, but it does enough to force LeJit Rose to really use their resources. And that means even with the clear, they are going to have a very tough time managing offense. In fact, they won't have any offense at all. Shark Vanua back on defense. Flicks this one away. Stumbling end. Taken out of the play before he can do anything with this. And Geriatric Goliaths really fighting for that second goal. As Winner POV in the midfield, but it's stumbling end once more. As hit again, Geriatric Goliaths. They are not a team that's devoid of being able to add pace to their play. You can see it here. They're playing faster. They're playing higher up. And yet again, that offense, as I said, generally doesn't score very often, but when they do, it really does hurt. Winner POV. A first one by, but Bulldog's not too concerned as there's Goliaths still jumping in on this one, although they will not be winning possession as it's a great catch from Stumbling End. Has room to work with this, but it's just lobbed off the back wall. That means LeJit Rose will be jumping in once more as Stumbling End in the midfield. Sharkfin, oh, that's resting in front, still going. Crowd pitches it to safety, and Geriatric Goliaths yellow. Their defense stands tall once more. Huge goal line stand for Crowd. Not the first time he's had to do that tonight, and now he's gonna get another. This one will find the net though, and Bulldog BNG will take a second for LeJit Rose. Crowd faked out, was expecting more on that touch, and left it wide open for the taking. And now a 1-goal lead late for LeJit Rose as Crowd got bumped away. Stumbling End with a wide open goal. And Geriatric Goliaths panicking under the pressure, and you can see a team bump there. Funny side, sending Crowd off target. And game 3, I think, I come to a close with LeJit Rose standing on top unless something drastic happens. And again, Geriatric Goliaths, not a team that we have seen really make things happen all that easily. As Funny side, get on Sharkfin, trying to get a bump on Stumbling End. Now goes Crowd in front. Winner POV. On the corner goes Bulldog, but Winner POV still with it. Funny side. Oh, he's had a weird play in front there, but nobody has this one. As cleared back, it will be Bulldog and Stumbling End. Sharkfin wants one for himself, but Winner POV will not give him that chance and will let game 3 end just like that. LeJit Rose with yet another win here. I mean, simply put, there is nothing else to say about it. It is LeJit Rose who, if they can score early, they really do put Geriatric Goliaths Yellow in for a spin. Everything they've done so far here has only amounted to, well, for Geriatric Goliaths, has amounted to very little. They're going to need to do a little bit more, a little bit better. Right now, they're going to need to find that playoff self. And we know they can do good on defense, but that offense has got to come through for them at some point, especially when they go down early. They really need that offense to show up like we have not seen it tonight. This is it, game 4, as LeJit Rose, we're trying to take it here to our, again, favorites in the final bracket. Many consider our favorites in the final bracket. I think you could argue for just about any of these top 8 teams to be favorites, and I don't think I would be one to disagree with you. Although I think more people than not are expecting Geriatric Goliaths Yellow to be that top team. When you go 7-0 in the regular season, people recognize that, but LeJit Rose really taking the battle to them here, and it just does not end. Sharkfin with an amazing strike, but Stumbling End, he has been in the middle of everything so far. A double tap attempt. Crowd had him blocked, but Stumbling End wasn't going for net. He was just lobbing it in front for Sharkfin. And that is, well, that is important to say at the very least. That's huge. LeJit Rose waiting back, will now try to keep that 1-goal advantage as Stumbling End, his side gets the save, but he's got another option here as he'll go in the midfield. And I think what's interesting about Stumbling End, he was not added to this team until very late in the season. It was one of the last moves they made, has been consistent ever since though, and he's become a player on their starting roster. You know, oftentimes when you make changes so late, it's for emergency situations, but you know, he's just been here to elevate LeJit Rose, and you can't deny he's done that. I mean, he has been everywhere this series. He has been truly MVP caliber. Stumbling end to the back wall. Ooh, it's not a great touch there as Minnow POV can't get there, but Funny Side will. He's gotten a goal off a dunk before as he'll go towards the midfield. Bulldog will not let him through. As Crowd taken off by Stumbling end. Bulldog PNG will shoot it wide, and it could have been a better chance there from Bulldog. I think he could have taken a little bit more time with it. Said his team will be back on defense, but not for too long as Stumbling end off the back wall. Still on it as Stumbling end as he's now been bumped. Funny Side. Bulldog jumping in. Shark Vanua and Stumbling end both trying to make things work. LeJit Rose gonna jump into the play as... Oh, it's a double whiff there. A bit of an awkward position in front, but Bulldog PNG will be ready for it. As is Stumbling end. Shark Vanua off the back wall, unable to really get another touch on this one as Crowd steal that midfield. Held on by LeJit Rose. They have shown amazing restraint and amazing confidence in their challenges. I mean, you don't see teams do this well at holding the midfield very often. I wonder that Geriatric Goliaths are really feeling the pressure right now because they don't have a lot of offense and they aren't getting any offense for free. Again, LeJit Rose aren't really giving them the respect that they often ask for here as an out infield play. That's off the back post and Winner POV can't get there. It's a race down the field. Crowd will be there just in time. And he'll send this one to safety. As LeJit again. Ooh, Bulldog nearly snuck in. Didn't see him coming, and LeJit Rose will go to the midfield again. Shark Vanua saved by Funny Side. Stumbling in. This one's the top left corner with no chance of blocking it. LeJit Rose continue to rack up the points and roll up the scoreline. And with no signs of it stopping, does Geriatric Goliaths have a chance here? They have not been able to score more than 2 goals in any one game, and well, we've seen them. And I mean, the game that they scored 2 goals, they scored first. That's the hugely important part. For LeJit Rose, it really does feel like once they get that first goal, it's their midfield that does the rest of the work, and their offense just succeeds because of it. It was a bit of a double whiff there. Will jump in the way as Funny Side dings off the bar, stumbling in, challenged by Crowd. Bulldog won't have it. Winner POV stopped by Shark Vanua as Funny Side off the back wall. It's wide open in front. Bulldog backflipping to safety. That one was right in front of the goal as well. LeJit Rose keeping the shutout for now, although I can't imagine it's going to last forever. However, with a minute to go, it doesn't need to. They've got such a strong lead against Geriatric Goliaths. They don't need to play perfect defense. They just need to play good enough, and well, I would say shutting out Geriatric Goliaths for any amount of time is good enough for most teams. For LeJit Rose, it's not the first time they've done it this series. It's, I mean, an impressive performance nonetheless. A stumbling end to the back corner. Funny Side will clear it away as everybody commits here. It's a 3-man passing play right into the back of the net. You can't give them open room here. Geriatric Goliaths, I've seen enough of those. They're no strangers to the pressure of the moment, but again, you can't give them open nets. They will find them as LeJit Rose, again, not too concerned. With so little time to go, and with the ball in their possession, Geriatric Goliaths just don't stand much of a chance right now, as Funny Side will clear. Crowd trying to find any chance to score. It's going to bounce off the corner. Bulldog bumped, but it's cleared back by Stumbling End. And that will end Game 4. LeJit Rose now on match point to move on to the semifinals. Our #1 overall team is now at risk of being eliminated from the final bracket. Well, for Geriatric Goliaths Yellow, if there's any time to use a tactical timeout, now would be it if they decide to do so. We'll see if that's the case. there's a good amount of teams that have not chosen to use it in this position because many teams aren't used to it. Especially a lot of these low-rank teams aren't used to using tactical timeouts. There's a good chance they just will choose not to. And it does seem like they are going to choose not to as well. So going into Game 5, hoping that things can change for them. Because as it stands, oh boy, they're in a lot of trouble right now. And actually, apologies, by the way, I said something wrong earlier. I said Affinity Mirage beat Or Hornets. They actually got swept by Or Hornets in the regular season. It's the team that beat them. That was an interesting quarterfinals then. As we go into game number 5. LeJit Rose, a chance to move to the semifinals. Geriatric Goliaths Yellow came into this final bracket as the top team, the team to beat. LeJit Rose may eliminate them before Geriatric Goliaths even had a chance to admire what it's like to be in the final bracket. As LeJit, again, their first time here in the top 8. And they're really trying to make this this night count as Bulldog PNG, who jumped in as well, was Shark Fanuaha. Bit of an overcommit there for LeJit, and they gotta be very careful. They aren't. Bulldog's last one back. Winner POV, back wall, off the bar, follow up, off the back post, and sent away as one still being shot on net. But LeJit Rose will force them to play out here as a great couple of challenges just to get the ball away will do the trick. Winner POV. What's an open chance in front? Funny side. This one. Oh, it's off the post. Follow up. How has that ball not gone in the back of the net yet? So many chances in front. And yet, LeJit Rose have avoided all of them. Jumping in. Shark Vanua. Crowd. Stumbling end. Won't have an easy touch here as Crowd to the goal. Nobody to stop him. And Geriatric Goliaths have not scored first, I think, since game 2. That's gotta be a huge sigh of relief. And it can... Well, I mean, they're hoping it's gonna be good things to come, but LeJit Rose are still on offense. And Shark Vanua stumbling end. Oh, he's just missed the net there. A close opportunity. You're going to see a couple of those from Stumbling End. He has really been attacking that net right now. And Shark Vanuaha left it off the back wall. Now goes Bulldog. Bunny side will send it away. And here goes Crowd with room to spare, but a real chance to score. Has another infield pass. Surely this one's in front. And Winner POV nearly took that as well. But will be kept out by Shark Vanuaha. As the offense really continues. Nobody wanting to make that big mistake is... Well, a bit of a double commit here for LeJit Rose. They gotta be a bit more careful. They're low on boost already, and they're not exactly helping themselves with these double commits. As another clear. Straight to Funny side, though. It is Geriatric Goliaths continuing to try to slow this one down as Crowd clear back by Bulldog. Shark Vanua in the midfield, stumbling in, doesn't reach this one. Winner POV is gonna score! Bulldog was on high alert, but it was for stumbling in to make that touch. He missed it, and there was no chance recovering. Putting his faith in the wrong player at the wrong time. Mistakes are bound to happen, but LeJit Rose I could have done without that one. But Geriatric Goliaths again. Once they're in the lead, they hold it, and they are so tough to break down. As Shark Vanua challenged by Crowd. In comes Stumbling End as he'll flick this one away. Near POV. Off the corner, Bulldog. Bunny side will keep it away as Shark Fin always dunked his own teammates. Bulldog's gotta be careful here, and he's actually gonna not go for this as well. Recognizing Geriatric Goliaths don't have a shot on that play. He'll just watch as they really do find no way of scoring from such a tough angle as Winner POV demoed away. Shark Fin takes it up high, but Crowd was ready for that. He jumped up almost immediately for that play. Rose are back in their own half of the field. LeJit Rose, you could tell, really getting overwhelmed right now by Geriatric Goliaths just winning the challenges. And now they're cleared away. Bulldog looking for one! Oh my goodness! Oh, that's unbelievable! Bulldog PNG slams the hammer, and LeJit Rose a thunderous response. A game that's been quiet so far, but maybe quiet no longer. 71 seconds, and LeJit Rose now have something to fight for. Cleared away. Bulldog with open room, bumped in front. Shark Vanuaha can't put the shot on. Stumbling end. Jumping in the play. He has not had much to do so far this game. It's just not had that many clear chances on net. You know, LeJit Rose, they're searching for one more opportunity. And again, Stumbling End would be the player to really look out for to see if he can make the difference. Especially when that ball is resting in front of the goal as crowd pushed off Geriatric Goliaths. If they can score, they can end this game. Inner POV. Stumbling End will pinch this one away. Room to work with, but right now they're just waiting as this one. Stumbling End past that last defender. Funny side won't have it. Bulldog, he can't put it on. It's too high. Here goes Sharkfin! Sharkfin, ooh-ha-ha! Ties it at 2. And LeJit Rose have not and will not give up. They aren't ready to see this series continue. They want it to end. And oh, what a series it has been. Maybe one more chance. Stumbling End to end it! Oh, what an ending! LeJit Rose advanced to the semifinals. And the #1 overall team eliminated in just 5 games. LeJit Rose takes it. They stay alive. Oh, what an ending. You could not have drawn it up any better. At 0 seconds, LeJit Rose crushing the hearts of Geriatric Goliaths fans everywhere. And, well, their night continues impressively. I don't know what to say. What a series, and what a performance. LeJit Rose just shocked the entire division. What a performance. And seriously, what a start to the night here. I'm so happy we got to see this series. Because it doesn't get much better than that. As a 4-1 victory, LeJit Rose continued. Geriatric Goliaths already out of the tournament. That means, again, they'll be moving on to the Semifinals 1 here. Will be, again, on a later stream with, I believe it is WaTesla who's streaming that one. Yeah, it is. It'll be on WaTesla's stream. But seriously, what a, I don't know what to say. That is incredible. But again, what a night's here already. And this is just the, this is just the quarterfinals. We've got 2 more matches to go from here. But again, we'll be done early. I'm going to see if I can get as many updates as I can around the league on what on earth is happening. But again, my goodness, what a performance. I am seeing the next match that might be nearing its end is Americanada versus Storm Syndicate. Americanada leading 3-1. Again, that is on Maxine's stream. Again, we'll get you updates around the league when matches, well, when matches are, matches continuing to happen. I'm gonna go and see what's on Again, WaTesla, as I've mentioned before, is streaming Affinity Mirage and Hornets. Affinity Mirage leading 3-2. Going to take down the team that beat them in the first stage of the season. So you'll definitely be interested in that. And Electric Sketch 55 is streaming. You're throwing Iris, who are leading 3-2 against RC Velocity. So again, the crazy action tonight only continues. But again, we are in for quite a treat. Again, we're going to be going to the semifinals, right? Very soon, but again, we're going to go to a break. When we come back, semifinals action, the best of sevens will continue. We'll give you updates around the league and more when we come back soon after this quick break. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the semifinals of the Ascend Tournament Series, Season 4, Ukiyo Esports Catalyst Cup. I'm Spotty FC, joining me is Etch-a-Sketch, and we've got another amazing set of matches for you all here. We just saw a huge upset in our quarterfinals. LeJit Rose taking down Geriatric Goliaths, Yellow. The number 8 seed taking down the number 1 seed in this bracket, but they're not the only upset as well. RC Velocity just beat YT Iris on Etch-a-Sketch's stream, and now they get to join the stream against Affinity Mirage, looking to do what they could not do, or actually had no chance of doing last season. I am excited to see how things will go here, but again, we've got an insane match coming up here. Etch-a-Sketch, just seeing this bracket already, what's the big... do you think there's any big storylines that are coming from this year? Are there any, players to watch out for? I mean, at the end of the night, we're going to name an MVP, so somebody's going to be at the top of the division.
Here, RC Velocity played their hearts out, man. There were some great shots that I saw put on the net. And if they can continue it, might be the storyline of the century. But then, Affinity Mirage making the appearance that they couldn't last season, and currently in the top 4, having the chance to knock out RC Velocity. Yeah, what do you think's gonna happen?
Yeah, you mentioned as well, Affinity Mirage. Well, last season felt like it was their season to win. They went under the name of the Wobblers, went 7-0. Last season, clearly pretty tough to do, considering that they didn't even do it this season. They went 7-0 last season, made to the final bracket, ended up with a top 6 finish because of forfeits. They could not play in the final bracket last season because they just weren't available to play last season. So it's always interesting to me to see see this Affinity Mirage team. They're back this season. This time, they will be able to play in all their matches, and they've already done better than they did last season, winning against Aura Hornets, who are the only team to beat them in the first part of the season. Now, taking on RC Velocity, I mean, we've already seen this team already. They're also part of the same group as well, so these teams have already had experience with each other. Affinity Mirage having beat RC Velocity back in week 1 in a 3-0 sweep. They were one of 5 matches that season, of this season, Affinity Mirage won by a sweep. So simply put, they've already beaten the one team that beat them in the regular season so far. Now they take on RC Velocity. It really does feel like Affinity Mirage have everything going in their favor right now, and are the heavy favorites tonight.
I can say the exact same, but I mean, the underdog, they've won before. I mean, we just saw.
Yeah, you can't deny them.
We just saw that happen. I mean, 8 seed beating number 1. Anything can happen in this game, and I think that's why I love it so much. I'm ready for it, man.
I am too, but if you want to see more action, again, this is a semifinal, so there is there's another match happening on the other side of the bracket here with LeJit Rose and Americanada. That's an important matchup as well, because, again, we just saw LeJit Rose win. That's another semifinals. That will be who joins this, who will be playing in the stream against the winner of this match in the grand finals, but that is on WaTesla's stream.
You know, Sporty, we have the same mics, man. I just realized that.
Yep, I was gonna call us the Quadcast brothers, but we're not sponsored by HyperX, so I can't say that.
Yeah, the Quadcasters. Wait, hold on, that might be the name. That's wild. I don't know. I was just looking. Had to point it out.
Yes, we're going to get a lobby reset here. Someone's having some ping issues, so while we get that fixed up here, I'm excited to see how tonight's going to go here. I'm really looking forward to this one, and again, just know, we're in the top 4 here. There's $100 up for grabs. I mean, this is it. This is the night where you got to show up, and we've already seen some teams show up as well, but I think what's also interesting is that tonight is the night of Group C, because of our top... I mentioned earlier tonight, the 4 Group C teams that made it to the final bracket qualifier also made it to the final bracket. And of those 4 teams, 3 of them are in the top 4, including Affinity Mirage and RC Velocity. Both of them were in Group C. RC Velocity ending up, I think, as the 3rd seed, I want to say. No, they weren't. They were the 2nd seed out of Group C. So, no, sorry, they are the 3rd seed. I am right as well. So, it's insane to me just how many, amazing teams we have. But specifically how many amazing teams we have in Group C, because I really wonder. There's some teams below them that were also pretty interesting this season, like the Daycare and Geriatric Goliaths Blue. If they were not in such a difficult group, how well would they fare? Is the question I always ask. But obviously, they couldn't make it, they didn't make it, and now the action continues. So we'll be going into our next matchup here, our best of 7 here in the semi-finals. And again, I'm really looking forward to this. This is an amazing time for teams to show up here. It's semifinals now. Everybody has proven themselves tonight. But of course, tonight is a night of winning more than just one match. You got to win a couple to get yourself there. But it is a true storyline here. Affinity Mirage, the best this team has ever done in the Ascent Tournament Series, with 2 players returning from last season back on the Wobblers, with that 3rd player being a substitute. RC Velocity on the other side, already proven themselves with a huge win against your throwing Iris. In the regular season, it was Affinity Mirage who took it here, but in the semi-finals, just about anything can happen. RC Velocity on the blue, Affinity Mirage on the orange, and you got to see RC Velocity. We already know a lot about Affinity Mirage. We've seen them before. This is a team that is so based around team play, about being able to follow each other, but so for tonight at Just Sketch, what did you see from RC Velocity that really does jump out to you?
The aggression. I mean, it did not stop. The first couple of games, it was shot after shot after shot. They might not have hit every single one of them, but they're putting the pressure on the other team, and I'm hoping to see that come out today. Or, well, again, I should say. There's an unfortunate miss there, sent it a little bit too high, but had the chance. I also saw some crazy shots, once again, talking about those, but they make plays. Yeah, I mean, as simple as it is, they make plays with each other, and they work. A little bit of a double demo there. Matt, looking like he wants to take it high. Going to be demoed by Gray. Bricks looking for a shot, 50'd high. Alert. Gonna try to take, not able to, though. Also, Sporty, I just want to say I was right. It is Skolzy playing. So, just got to throw that out there. All right, it might just be me here, folks.
Oh, I muted myself. How perfect. Oh, no. This is not a good start to a semifinals. I was going to say, you proved me right as well, because I said the wrong player was the starter for this team, and I am truly song, but here comes Matt, and here comes RC Velocity with goal 1. A little under 2 minutes in, and so far, RC Velocity and Affinity Mirage both having their offense, but you mentioned aggression out of RC Velocity and how good their aggression is, and that's going to be constant, even here against Affinity Mirage. This is definitely a team that will struggle when you put a lot of bodies in front of them, so the real question is going to come to RC Velocity is if they overcommit, because if they overcommit, this Affinity Mirage team works very fast with each other. If they can get down the field, you're going to have a tough time keeping up with them.
I agree wholeheartedly, and unfortunately for RC Velocity, it happened a few too many times. They got pretty lucky. Your throwing Iris not able to put some shots on target, allowed them to stay in the game. That's not the only reason they won, though. I'll be honest. They still could have pulled through either way. But Duber gonna find the first one for Affinity Mirage. Currently 1-1, all tied up in game number 1.
And it's just the speed that Affinity Mirage works at as well. They're fast. This is a faster team now that they've added in Skolzy. And the benefit for this team is that Gray and Duber have been teammates for a pretty good amount of time here. At least, I want to say at least 3 to 4 months at this point. Probably even a little longer. But again, Skolzy, kind of the new player this season, kind of the question mark to fill in a roster that last season, again, went 7-0 in the regular season and was what many consider the best team of the season that just could not play in the final bracket. The biggest question mark in ATS history was how would this team have done last season? I think we're getting our answer tonight here with how they're playing right now, but again, Skolzy has made this team faster, has made this team quicker to getting the ball, and that is something that really matters, especially at this level with how offensive everyone wants to play. You gotta play with speed, and right now, RC Velocity matching them in pace as an overcommit will leave Skolzy back, and he's just too slow. Bricks will beat him, and Matt with an open net to look at.
Beautifully done, man. Hey, it was a pass off backboard, but either way, it's a pass, and I was talking about it earlier. They use each other, and they do it well. Alert to the corner. Ray not going to be able to get a touch. Bricks finds one through high, making it 3-1, just extending their lead a little bit further, hoping to hang on to this as well.
I don't think it's even about hanging on. It's about being able to thrive. This team can hang with the best of them. I mean, we just saw it with YT Iris earlier. But of course, the real question comes down to, well, how can they thrive against such a star-studded roster in Affinity Mirage? And right now, the way they're doing it is just putting on immense pressure. Affinity Mirage are usually so good at keeping things together, and that's even more credit to what RC Velocity are doing here. Even a team as structurally strong as Affinity Mirage is panicking.
They break down the team shot by shot. Then you're just not able to get back on defense. I've seen it happen. I saw it happen all last game, man. It works out way too well, and that's why they do it. I mean, absolutely. Gray gonna toss one mid. Skullsy able to get one. Duber might have a shot. Gonna ping off crossbar. I'm so happy they added that. I love the sound. I love it so much.
It feels like it's one of those edits and one of those changes that is so divisive to people. Some people love it, some people hate it. I'm sure these players aren't going to like it, though, by the end of the night, considering how many matches they have to play and how many times we are going to hear that sound eventually. But for Affinity Mirage, they desperately don't like that sound because they need to score, and they need to score soon. Not just to come back in this game, but really more so to get themselves some confidence. This game has fallen apart for them, and more than ever at this point, if you're Affinity Mirage, you need to prove why you deserve to be here and why you deserve to be at this point, because RC Velocity taking them on, and Affinity Mirage, if they can do what they can do best, and that is really find ways to break out and work with each other, maybe they can push RC Velocity back a little bit further and give themselves a better chance for Game 2.
RC Velocity loves those overcommits. They do it way too often. Either way, they still pull through. Will they be able to this game, though, against a team so fundamentally sound and built around speed? Getting to the ball fast, getting that fast break to go through, and getting a free shot. Will they hang, or will they falter? Alert looks for one mid. Gray gonna get the touch here. Looking for one more, finds it. Gonna be a little bit out. Now Duber finding one mid. Alert looking to play on, gets it high. Gray with a shot. Brick's able to save it out. One downfield from Gray. Alert looking for the demo, not able to find it. Alert off sidewall. Reset. Might go through. Skullsy with a great save. Sitting there waiting for the ball to come down. Matt looked for a shot, not able to. Now Alert, ping off crossbar once again. Skullsy just going to send it downfield, and that one is down.
RC Velocity with Game 1, and you mentioned it here perfectly at your sketch. It's just the amount of aggression this team brings. I mean, they do not give up on offense, and Matt specifically leading this team. As the captain, I think that's a pretty reasonable position to be in, to lead a roster, whereas on the other side for Affinity Mirage, Gray's their captain, and he was pretty quiet that game. He didn't really have time. He generally plays defensive, but simply put, just defensive isn't going to work against this RC Velocity team. This is a team that knows aggression, knows how to play up on offense. If you're going to beat this team, it's not going to be aggression alone. It's going to be a lot more than just that.
But don't ever count Affinity Mirage out here. I mean...
Oh, you can't. You can't count them out.
You never can. Gray, the adaptability is crazy. I've seen him go from getting slammed one game, the next game 7-1 Brazil easy, and they win, you know? He's able to adapt to every single person he plays, I feel. And hopefully we get to see some of that. That's my personal take there. All right.
I don't think that's much of a hot take, considering Gray has done this for his whole career. He's never been a player that's really been confined to a playstyle. It's more so just a player who can adapt. I think that's not really a hot take. More so that's how Gray plays. And simply put, you can't nail a playstyle down to Gray. That's why he's so tough to play against, because you can't adapt to him. He adapts to you. You just got to make sure that whatever playstyle you're doing, you do it well.
Absolutely. So far, it is going well.
Oh my goodness!
Bricks, though! Putting one through. Oh my goodness. 5 seconds into the game, already giving us a show. Reset, gonna toss it high. Top left of the net.
And as I said again, that Affinity Mirage team, they don't do well against such the aggression that we are seeing from RC Velocity. And you can just see RC Velocity really does look like they're having fun out here. Considering that they just won in a 7-game series against YT Iris. I didn't know if they were how well they're gonna play tonight against a arguably even better team than YT Iris. But simply put, they know what they're doing, and they're doing it pretty well. I don't know if the experience of having played this team in the regular season, or really the first stage of the season, helped them out in any way, but it does feel like, again, Affinity Mirage's defensive structure just isn't going to be enough here, as a bit of a whiff back as Gray will collect. Running out of boost will be taken away. Here goes Alert with room, and Brix trying to get the bump on one. Won't get it there as an infield play. Skulzy gets it away from Matt. Now it's his turn to race down the field. Alert wins the challenge, but Duber going towards goal, but again, it just stops short. Affinity Mirage are getting the ball downfield, but they're not making anything happen with it, and, you know, clears can only do so much for a team's defense. Affinity Mirage are going to need to take time, slow the play down, slow down RC velocity, and find those chances. As here goes Gray, the 50! Brix gets through, Matt will clear it out. Skulzy to the sidewall. Affinity Mirage maybe a chance to tie this game up. Duber had both goals last game for this side, but his infield pass will not go anywhere. And again, Affinity sent back. RC Velocity waiting on the goal line, beckoning, asking Affinity to play aggressive, and they will! It's wide open! And walking in is Gray, a tie game after 1.5 minutes.
Wow. You know, while that was going on, I was like, you know, their defense was pretty strong last game. Will Affinity Mirage fare well against with that defense? I mean, hey, starting it off, Gray going to find the touch in. Duber with a great touch. Gray now off back wall. Not gonna get one. Brix sent across. No double, but Alert looking for the double as well. Not gonna happen. Matt sends one high. Brix, no boost. Able to make the touch. Now Alert bang downfield. Duber send high. Matt off backboard. The Gray. Brix still no boost. Alert not able to play for him here. Gray keeping it in. I think Duber might have had a shot there, but either way, it's all right. And cleared away by Matt. Has a shot on net. Skulzy with a beautiful touch. And now it's sent back across mid. Skulzy with one. Alert trying to keep it low. You know, if let's say RC Velocity wins this here, do we think that they have a good chance at bringing it home? You know, I mean, this is semifinals here. Do they have a good chance against either team?
I would agree with you on that. It's a real question if Affinity Mirage can do it, because there's a team that isn't generally used to being down so early in a series. I mean, they, again, won 5 of their matches in the regular season by sweeps. They were the best team in their group. But even then, you mentioned it as well, it really does feel like if they don't get early wins against teams, they do not have an easy time. And a lot of this is going to come down to them getting goals, as now the demo's ringing out. And I was going to mention earlier, against RC Velocity, it felt like they were sitting back a lot on defense, and I don't know if we saw, I mean, you saw this. Did White Iris ever bring a lot of demos against RC Velocity? Because it really does feel like if those demos could break apart this RC defense.
Oh yeah, there were definitely demos filled on the field here. Some oil. Yeah, definitely a lot of demos, and it worked just about every single time. So Affinity Mirage, that's one thing that if they start doing, would flip the entire game in their favor. But I don't know if they'll find it. I've seen Gray's team be very aggressive with demos. I've also seen them not be, and I don't know. I kind of feel they play better without him, even if it will help them in the end.
Yeah, again, I think they're a team that doesn't want to resort to demos, but simply put, against this RC defense, they don't really have a choice. There's too many players back for RC Velocity. Those demos are absolutely going to make a difference if they choose to use them here. And I really think if they are going to win, it's going to come off the back of being able to play that way. As Brix to the back wall, still a tie game, however, is inside the final minute. Skulzy clears, Alerts will go towards goal as Duber. He's not going to have the touch. It's open in front. Skulzy will come across the save as Brix gets denied. And with time and space to work with, will be cleared down the field. Alert, that's a bit of an awkward touch. Nobody up for this one except for Matt. Here goes Skulzy. Stopped by Brix. Duber to the nets. Alert gets shuffled out of the way. 30 seconds to go. Maybe one more big chance for one of these teams. Duber can't take it. Gray will go across and just keep this one away. Brix leaves it. Alert, who is in a bad spot here without any boost. Same goes for Brix, as he'll get pushed but not out of the way. Now he goes. This one pinched wide as Affinity Mirage holding down the defense. Alert past one. Brix trying to get a piece of Duber there, but won't get very far. Now this one pinched away. Brix racing back. Gray, will he keep it alive? He won't be able to read it. And we go to overtime.
Dude, I'm like sweating over here. That was crazy. Duber not able to get a shot on Gray. Sends it a little high. Bricks. Lifted away by Skolzy here. Alert now. Finds one. Going to go to Duber. Finding the first touch. Gets a double as well. One around Alert. Gray with a shot. Blocked away by Matt. Now Skolzy finds one high. Bricks. Bang downfield. Going to find Duber first. Pinch into the net. Matt able to make the turn. Beautifully done. Skolzy with a great block. Now Alert sends it high backboard. Duber not enough boost in net. And Bricks sends it through with a bang.
It is a big play as well, and Gray, oh, you gotta feel for Gray there. As a worse time for a backflip. No wonder Duber wasn't gonna challenge. Gray, I'm almost certain, called him off on that play, and the backflip just sealed his deal there as RC Velocity, a second game win, and although it was a lot better from Affinity Mirage, it felt like there was more demos, they had more offense than ever. Really felt like those infield passes were starting to make the difference as well. Simply put, it's not enough, Etch-a-Sketch. They're not doing enough. And we need to see an earlier start for them. It felt like it took them half the game before they could realize that what they need to do in their play style. Simply put, they're making these adjustments, and that's a good thing. We really got to see it come together. I really think this next game is going to be do or die for them. If Affinity Mirage does not play out of their mind next game, I don't see them winning this series.
I can agree with that. If RC Velocity is able to take next game, I fear it might just be wraps. Now, can't call it until it's called, right? But
yeah,
it will be a very difficult comeback if they manage to lose this next game. But in Mirage, they're waiting. You know, they're sitting and waiting a little bit. They're giving RC Velocity 2, maybe that's what it is.
I think more of it is that Affinity Mirage's normal playstyle of being more defensive just doesn't work against RC Velocity. I think more so they need to rely on those demos, on the ability to pass in the field, on the ability to connect with each other, and really just be able to generate shots. I mean, they did it in last game, but again, it felt like it didn't come until the last half of the game. If they could do that again, it was working. You can't deny it wasn't working. It was absolutely working for them last game. They just need to do it now for a full 5 minutes rather than just 2.5.
That's the hard part. Holding it the entire game. Matt not able to get up to that one. Skolzy starting it off early like you said they need to do. They're listening to you, Sporty. They're hearing you, man.
And I'm happy they are, because I mean, what we saw last game worked for them at the end of Game 2. It was enough, and it really did push RC Velocity to their limits, as it is going to do for every team in this final bracket. Every team here is going to be pushed to their absolute limits. That means here, of all places, you got to be able to perform. As an infield pass cleared back by Skolzy, Affinity Mirage will take offense again as an infield pass. And Gray is actually on the end of this one. Matt, kind of a bit lethargic to that play, nearly got beat. And Affinity Mirage trying to sneak in a second one almost immediately after the first.
If they got a second one there, they definitely would have been listening, man. 2 off the bat would be nice to have. And just more time to extend their lead, right? Alert with a great bang. Matt up for it. I don't know if he needed to touch it. Yes, he did. Bricks not able to put a shot on. Gray looking to clear it to sidewall. Does get the double. And the 50, but this is just Matt's ball. This is what he loves to do. Play it high. It's the double as well. It's what he loves to do, man. I saw him every single time last game taking it high. And it works out for him here.
It seems like he just knows. Once he's in the air, he knows exactly how to get the job done. Big double tap in front from Mats and real captain's effort again. It's really I think really one of the best ways to compare how the series has been going has been comparing the real work of the captains of both rosters. I mentioned it after game 1, but you can really see the amount of work being done right now from Matt. When his team needs a goal, he has no problem stepping in and getting and doing it himself, whereas for Gray, he's been sitting back. He still feels very quiet to me, and feels like it's more so Duber and Skulls that we're seeing leading, but it really needs to be Gray that can pull everything together, like how Matt's doing it for RC Velocity. So it really is a battle of the captains at this point, and I mean, I think there's a clear winner right now, and that is Matt.
Though I will say, last game, we did see the sub. Matt gets out. Legend played for him. and Legend was doing a dang good job. So even if one of these players isn't feeling their best, I think that their sub helps that longevity of the team.
You're not wrong. That again, RC Velocity do have Legend available. He's been playing a couple games with them as well, so he's not an unknown player for them in any way. I'm sure they'll be very happy if they need to go and use Legend. They're not going to be worried at all. Legend's again used to this roster. He's already competed a good amount with this roster. He knows how to get things done. But right now, Affinity Mirage need to break their way through. Is Skullsy waiting? Is Skullsy, but Matt stands his ground. Now goes Duber, gets by 2, gets by all 3 there, but that's going to roll to the other side of the field. And Affinity Mirage will go again. Infield pass. Skullsy stopped by Matt on the goal line. And up goes the clear from Bricks to the back corner. Matt takes out Gray. Now he's going to chase down Skullsy too. Doesn't get the touch, but won't need to as this goes across. Matt still on it, getting every which way in between. All the players shot on, saved by Bricks as RC Velocity just continuing to maintain the field, maintain possession, and maintain some real aggression, some authority over Affinity Mirage.
They're doing a good job at it so far. Keeping it tied up at least what you have to do right now. 50'd by Matt. Matt and Gray. This ball rolling. Brick's going to take possession. Sends it high. I think it would have been open if he took the shot. But I cannot confirm nor deny. Alert 50. Skullsy kind of play on. Finds the 50 to Duber. Duber over Matt. No touch to be had there. Gray with a shot. Gonna be blocked away by Bricks with no boost. Ball 50 down. Alert. Good bang. Duber gonna find one mid. Now we see Matt bang to the backboard. Bricks not able to put the shot through. Alert needs a save here. Now Skullsy. Touch to Alert. Alert one more high. What do you think Affinity Mirage needs to do right now to secure the lead? Just one thing.
They've got to go back to those demos. We haven't seen enough of them this game. They've resorted to playing more defensive. It's those bumps that will make things happen. I just saw Duber go for one there, but no shot to follow. Gray, it's immediately cleared back by Matt. Is still a tie game through all the trials and tribulations that Affinity Mirage have gone through. They've only given up one goal so far. But Alert, they'll make things change. Infield pass will be cut out by Gray. Skullsy bumped out, no clear to be had. Affinity Mirage racing through. They'll clear it out. Open backfield, but Gray taken out of the field by Matt. And again, the captain gets things on as Alert now takes out another player. Matt moving through. Alert jumping in. Bricks is out of position though. And it's Dilber off the post. Alert will keep it out. And RC Velocity will breathe a sigh of relief. Another chance in front, but Bricks is there. RC surviving by the final seconds. They'll clear this ball out, look for one last chance. Bricks and Zevo couldn't put the shot on, and we go to overtime for a second straight game.
If Bricks would have had that, that would have been so unfortunate. Oh my goodness, I thought it was about to happen. Skullsy gonna get 50'd away. Demo out of Skullsy on Bricks. Gray finds one to Matt. Matt plays it high. A little bit too hard for his liking. Gonna give it to Gray here.
Oh!
Gray puts the shot through. And Alert gonna be demoed by Duber.
He's been searching for that all game, hasn't he, Duber? He's been searching very aggressively for those bumps. When one connects, it finally works at perfect timing, too. Huge demo from Duber. And Affinity Mirage, we said it, they needed to win here. They've done it. It wasn't convincing, though, which is the big concern for me, but it's better than losing Game 3, because as we said, if they had lost this game, I don't see a chance of them coming back. Now that they've won, there's still a glimmer of hope.
There's always a glimmer of hope, man, especially when it's Affinity Mirage. Their adaptability, their defense. I feel like I'm just glazing at this point. I don't mean it, guys, I swear. Uh-oh. Accidentally started into the next match. Someone left. Oh.
Nope.
I got connection lost.
Yep, I was going to say
Love
the server
that.
broke, so we'll get a new server made here while we get everybody back into the lobby for game number 4. So give us a quick moment here.
Duber and Vatira, same person.
No, they're
I've
not.
never seen them in the same room together.
That is true.
All
We haven't
right.
seen them in the same room together, so I guess that's fair. We need to see them in the same room to confirm.
Oh, yeah. Duber found beautiful demo there.
He did.
I think he would be more relatable to Calm here, but
I would say he's more relatable just about any kind of attack. I guess maybe Vettles would be a good example. Someone who can go for demos, but kind of stays up more aggressively. Although Vettles is more defensive now.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're not talking about pros here. We're talking about the the pros of the Ascent Tournament series. All these great players. Again, it's RC Velocity, Affinity, Mirage. I'm excited to see how things are going here, but it's another overtime. These games have all been very close. I mean, simply put, we're in for a very long matchup, but I think that's what everybody wants, right? Is a nice long matchup as we're going into Game 4. RC Velocity taking on Affinity Mirage, and RC Velocity couldn't get a free game straight, but reminder, how close last game is. It wasn't that Affinity Mirage really took over in any way. It's going to be very close and very competitive, and I expect, honestly, that we're going to see this series really stretch these teams to their limits, because Affinity Mirage, they can win, but they're going to need to do more to really show up against RC Velocity.
Yeah, I feel RC Velocity just has much more attack power behind them. They have a lot more opportunities on the ball, I feel. And, I mean, honestly, I've seen a lot more opportunities from them in all these games. So, as you were saying, Affinity Mirage definitely going to have their work cut out for them, but it is possible to do it. Alert. Gonna send one high to Skolzy. Skolzy to LeJit. We do see the LeJit switch, by the way. In case
sub change.
Did not catch that. I didn't until just now, but Bricks finding one through. Beautifully done. Wow. Starting it off quick.
It's a great shot from Bricks as well, and I mean, unfortunately for Gray, he knows that is just a terrible touch up the sidewall. I think he was trying to go for a dribble, maybe actually he was trying to go for a long clear, honestly, with the way his car is positioned, but silly buddy got no power, and he just left that to a great chance for Bricks, and again for Gray, still feels quiet to me. Still haven't seen enough from Gray. It really felt like it's been Gray who I think is the real question mark for Affinity Mirage. He has not really been all that alert this series, and that's not to say that he's been doing bad things. He's still playing a great support role, but I want to see him push up, help his team out more on offense, and well, if Gray can really take the offensive role, an offensive role along with his teammates, I mean, that's when you know Affinity Mirage is playing well, whenever a Gray is able to take some offense.
For me, I think it's the nervousness. Like, he's nervous about it. That's a me thing entirely, though. It's like anytime I play tournaments, I'm nervous. I don't feel confident enough. Alert! Puts one through. But yeah, I just like you don't feel confident enough, and you're nervous, and so you're not able to play to the best of your ability. He just needs to break through that, I feel.
Yeah, maybe there's nerves. I'm sure. I mean, for Affinity Mirage, again, this is the furthest they've ever been in any of our tournaments, so I'm sure that they are realizing as well. Reminder, this is a whole, 2 seasons resting on their back as well. This isn't just this season. It's last season as well. Gray and Duper both couldn't play last season because they didn't have a full 3 players available on the final days, so it really feels like this is kind of their replacement for their Season 3 Ascendant Cup final bracket, the final bracket that could have been for Affinity Mirage. So they've got a full they've now got a kind of a full 2 seasons that they need to prove that they are that top team that they said they were last season. They are a team that deserves to be champions. But right now, their challenge is much tougher this season. Not only is there 4 more teams this season and 32, the most we've had in any division in ATS history, but that competition is so much better as well. I mean, everybody in this final bracket really is, I mentioned it before, is a team that can win it all, and that is no cliche. That is a very real thing to say here, is that every team in this final bracket could be a team to win it, and simply put, there are no gimme matches. You gotta earn every single game, every single series, and eventually the tournament itself.
Who is going to be the one to take it? I have my bets. You're seeing RC Velocity right now. Oh, backflip, that one hurts. Going to the back wall off of Gray. That's no bias, by the way, I swear.
You've seen RC Velocity, you know how this team is supposed to be playing tonight, and you talked about the overcommits. We haven't seen too many overcommits so far from them. We have seen a couple, but honestly, they've been more measured than what I think you initially stated. And is this something new out of them that you're seeing? Is this something that maybe has to do with a lot of how Affinity Mirage is playing? Do you think RC Velocity is just kind of getting used to each other a little bit better now and not overcommitting nearly as much?
From what I see, I think Affinity Mirage is so far pushed back normally that they don't need that third man to come up. They're able to make the plays with the 2 people, but with first man and second man, because they just grab pads and they're already back. Affinity Mirage isn't taking that speed that they need to have, especially right now, to be scoring. Uh, so, and I mean, from YT Iris, it was just always, there was always pressure on the ball, no matter what. So it made it a lot harder to play on the ball, and that's why you had to have those overcommits. But
Mirage have not been able to resort to what they've done well in the past couple of games, and you can see it hurt them here. Still no goals on game 4 as Bricks stopped by Duber, but Affinity Mirage really desperately need offense. They're just not going to get it. Alert in the midfield. Duber clears it away, and Affinity Mirage just trying to hope for some miracle opportunity, but it just isn't there for them. Bricks, Gray, and Skullsy trying to work together, but Affinity Mirage just not able to keep up with the amazing offense of RC Velocity. As a demo will again keep RC Velocity in open room, and right now Mirage throwing themselves at the ball, hoping for something to work. Legend, Skullsy, jumping in as Alert. Now goes Duber with 10 seconds to go. Affinity Mirage trying to slow this one down, but they just can't get a goal. Match point for RC Velocity. They're now 1 win away from a spot in the finals.
one game could decide everything for Affinity Mirage here. What a game we just got to see, though. That was beautiful. Great game out of RC Velocity. Affinity Mirage knowing what they need to do to step up, get these demos, put these shots, and get them through. They have to break this defense down somehow.
It really does. It really does. And the one thing I'm surprised at, no tactical timeout call as well for Affinity Mirage. We have not seen any tactical timeout calls at all tonight, so that should definitely be, noticeable that Affinity Mirage doesn't want to take that extra minute in between the games. And knowing that they're not going to take that extra minute means, well, they're going to go right back into this one. Because, I mean, clearly they've seen something that works. And I think we have all seen something that works for Affinity Mirage. It's just, can they actually put it to work? Because right now, I have not seen that offense from them. I have not seen what we know Affinity Mirage can do. They haven't seen the demos. I haven't seen the aggression that we know they can do. And I haven't really seen the teamwork that we saw earlier in the series. It feels like for Affinity Mirage, it's kind of like everybody all for themselves. And realistically, that's just not going to win matches. And not in a team-based tournament. I need to see those bumps. I need to see that coordination. I need to see Affinity Mirage willing to take more risks, especially up when they're shooting.
Yeah, no, playing Affinity Mirage last season in RLSS, I mean, it was so different than what this is right now. It was so different. There were passes going on. Demos were going through, but Gray gonna find one on his own. Top right. But as I was saying, I mean, Affinity Mirage was one of those teams last season. They were slow, they were methodical, and they made those passes count. I'm not seeing much of that tonight.
And yet, the series is still not over just yet. Affinity Mirage, again, trying to turn their hopes around in Game 5. Now that they're 3 games, they've got to win the next 3 games to take the series. And I mean, hey, a goal this early should be a good start, especially with Gray being the one to get it. Again, I said it. He's been the player that I think has been the quietest so far on Affinity Mirage, and I think as a team captain, you really can't afford to be quiet in matches like these. As Alert, clear this one away, and again, they subbed in Legend. I mean, what's the difference between Legend and Mats? I mean, we saw a lot of it last game, but I think a different sort of aggression from RC Velocity. What changes when Legend's playing versus when Mats is playing for RC Velocity?
That's a great question. And honestly, not a ton. I mean, they are both solid players. They do both team comps do the same thing, right? They put those great shots on. They keep that aggression up. But with a Legend, personally, I think you're missing out on those mechanics. Because we saw... Oh my goodness, Bricks! Slotting one while I'm talking. Oh my goodness, what a shot.
Even without those mechanics from Legends, it does seem like he gives a lot. He stays on the ground a lot more, and so he's giving space for these other players to kind of step into that role. And right now, it's Bricks who's doing it. Legend may not have the mechanics, but he allows Bricks to, take more shots, take more opportunities. And you can tell Bricks, when he's playing offense, he's pretty happy. It seems like he's in his comfort zone when he's able to shoot the ball.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. But I mean, as we saw from Matt, that double off the ceiling was pretty nasty. You gotta give him that, all right?
Absolutely, you have to give him that.
Almost finding one through here. Gray gonna jump, not able to. Skolzy, 50 to the sidewall. Alert with a shot. Gray gotta clear this one out. Duber, wanting to play on here. Not able to get around one. Does 50 though. Legend, free jump on Gray. Goes ceiling. Beautiful touch there. Alert, sends it high. Skolzy finds one. Now Duber. Bang, downfield to Bricks. What do you feel has changed adding Skolzy to this roster instead of... I actually don't know who was on it.
It was Unreal. Unreal Acid.
Unreal.
Was the player that was starting on the roster last season on the Wobblers. And again, I mentioned earlier that Skolzy has allowed this team to take a more aggressive style role. And yet even then, it obviously hasn't changed as much as maybe I thought it has. But again, Skolzy has allowed this team to play more aggressive. He's really allowed Duber a lot more room on offense, which is where Duber really is comfortable. But obviously, their aggression isn't really matching RC velocities right now, as a long clear down the field, and Skolzy couldn't read this one, thought Bricks had the touch. Obviously, he didn't, and in comes Alert with an open goal. It's a lead for RC Velocity. Reminder, Affinity Mirage with match point against them. If they lose at any point during this series, their run is over.
It's a scary thought to think right now, especially being in the hot seat here. Bricks finding the musty and the bump from Alert, making it 3-1, extending that lead a little bit longer.
Affinity Mirage's hopes of winning the Ascent Tournament Series slipping away, and you gotta really feel bad for Gray. He is an OG. He's been here since Season 0, and yet he has not been able to win in the Ascent Tournament Series. Again, the best he did was last season in top 6. Actually, I think he's made top 4 as well before, back in, I think it was Season 0, back on 5CE Dream Team, I believe they were called. Again, he has not been able to win in Ascent Tournament Series. And again, he's he is an OG. He's been here since the very beginning. A player who has always made it his goal to win in the Ascent Tournament Series. And again, you felt like last season was the season for him to do it. Feels like this season's the same thing, that this is the season to do it. But again, the pressure is on, and they really need to perform here as Gray gets stopped. Duber up the sidewall. At this point for Affinity Mirage, they've got to score. Skolzy will hit the net, though. And Affinity Mirage are one away from tying this one up. Game 5 stays close as Affinity Mirage expertly played on the shot by Skolzy.
The dream's still alive here, folks. 1 goal game. 1 goal to decide if Affinity Mirage is going home without the win here. Alert. Good touch there. Gonna get blocked off by Duber. Gray for one to the corner, looking for the read. Gets the double out. Skolzy with a great shot. Blocked away. Almost 50'd by Alert, though. That could have been nasty if Gray 50'd that in.
And yet, even then, this is really going to be a great place for RC Velocity. Affinity Mirage can't attack that corner, because if they do, that ball is popping straight out. And what a shot! Oh my goodness, Bricks! He's got a hat trick! 3 for 3 on all shots from his Bricks. And RC Velocity just letting him roll, because simply put, he has the hot hand, and nobody can cool him down.
32 seconds per goal. Can they do it? Affinity Mirage needing 2 here. Alert demoed by Skolzy. Gray gets one high to Legend. Legend to Duber. Skolzy 50s Bricks. Duber. Beautiful block there. Stopping that shot. Now we got Legend trying to put a shot through. Gonna be saved away by Gray, who gets his 3rd save of the game here. Duber over 1. Over 2. Bricks going to be the 3rd to play on. Able to find a touch. A Skolzy bouncing one high. Legend not able to. Gray to the corner. Duber not able to get a shot through. Still bouncing mid though. Gray, no shot coming out of him here. Bricks able to get a 50 and now sent downfield.
And RC Velocity just needs to waste out a couple more seconds. Affinity Mirage, their whole season, the 2 seasons of action comes down to this. But RC Velocity's offense has just been too great. Mirage will try one last chance, but this goes far, far away. And so too will be their chances to move to the finals. RC Velocity in 5 games will defeat Affinity Mirage in the semifinals. Will defeat a team that many thought would win this season. We'll defeat Gray, send him packing for yet another season, and we'll move to the grand finals to take on the winner of LeJit Rose and Americanada. As soon as this ball hits hits the floor. It will be official. RC Velocity, our grand finals bound.
Hey, they were doing a good job keeping that ball up. They were doing a great job. I had a few shots there. Yes, alert. We do finals now. Yes.
We absolutely do. That's the fun part about this one. And even better, the other side of the bracket has actually been confirmed as well. LeJit Rose just lost in a Game 6 series to Americanada. So our grand finals is set. Americanada versus RC Velocity. What an interesting finals it is, because it's the top team of Group D versus the third seed of Group C. And obviously, as we've seen tonight, both these teams seem to really do deserve to be here. As RC Velocity tearing down Affinity Mirage, they made that look easy. And reminder, this is an Affinity Mirage team that went 6-1 in what many consider the toughest group of the season, including a win over RC Velocity.
RC Velocity needed their get back, and hey, let me tell you, they got it. Managing to get through here. How do you think finals is going to go?
Well, with what we're seeing, RC Velocity really do seem unstoppable. Americanada will be an interesting team because I haven't seen them at all season. But I know that this team is one that has a lot of older players who have been around for a while, including players like Walker and who went by Notpori in the past as well. So, as well as Arias or Simksi, they've all been around for a while. Be a very fun team to watch here. But of course, that's a sketch. Before we go into our grand finals with RC Velocity versus Americanada. Is there anything else we should mention? Anything else we should add that that matters to these teams, or anything else we should mention, or should we just go to break and let's set up our grand final as soon as we can?
I mean, I'll be honest. I don't have anything here. I'm just ready, right?
Yeah, I am too.
It's gonna be a great game.
It is going to be amazing. That's the fun thing about this one. The grand finals of the Ukiyo Esports Catalyst Cup will be coming up next. RC Velocity, Americanada. We'll see you all very soon. A full night of action comes to its close. Welcome to the Ascend Tournament Series, Ukiyo Esports Catalyst Cup Grand Finals, and as I mentioned earlier tonight, any of the 8 teams that have been playing tonight can make this Grand Finals, but I didn't expect this. RC Velocity versus Americanada. I think this is a very interesting Grand Finals because, simply put, of all the teams that were expected to make it this far, these were definitely some of the lesser expected teams. All the high seeds haven't really gotten to this point, and what we're left with is teams that have made it that I think have surprised everyone. Also joining me here is Tesla. Tesla, you there?
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, I'm actually surprised when I saw the bracket come out. I didn't really have a definitive answer for the second team, but I thought Affinity Mirage would make it. They really are a solid squad, and they started off a little shaky in my series, but they were able to pick it up and carry it out to a victory. And so I'm super surprised not to see them in the final here. So RC must have played their tail off, and I'm ready to see some good rocket.
Oh yeah, RC's been playing amazingly. This team has some of the best offense I've seen in this division, and I'm saying that quite literally. Their offense has been suffocating, and that is really true. But you got to see Americanada and their run tonight. Talk to me about how Americanada played this evening, because their semifinals against LeJit Rose. I saw LeJit Rose earlier. This team had some amazing defense. What did Americanada do to really just take them down in 6 games?
Americanada came out and outscored them, I think 9 or 10-1 in the first 2 games. LeJit Rose called a timeout. I guess in that extra minute, they found a phone booth, climbed in, jumped out with their Superman costume, and they steamrolled the next 2 games. But then games 5 and 6, Americanada, Simsy and Arias, Walker helped too, but Simsy and Arias were getting so many good 2-man plays where one would get a big clear and the other one would already be downfield to start creating havoc to set up a shot. And so if they play like that, Americanada is going to be hard to beat in this one.
Yeah, that's the thing about Americanada. This is an inconsistent team this season. They've been inconsistent, but but unlike a lot of inconsistent teams, their base floor is very high up. I mean, they were in Group D, won out Group D with a 6-1 record. RC Velocity's had an interesting record this season. 5-2, they are the 3rd best team out of Group C. Again, I mentioned earlier tonight, Group C had 4 teams make it to the top 8 from that group. Of those 4 teams, 3 of them made it to semifinals, and now only 1 of them remains in RC Velocity. Their offense has been amazing. You mentioned Americanada. If they aren't inconsistent, they will be tough to stop. And you mentioned it as well as one specific player on that roster that we should focus on is Walker of Americanada. He's been, I think, the real epitome. He is a player that everybody says watch out for, and yet it doesn't seem like he is able to find amazing consistency on his mechanical plays. Simply put, if he steps up, Americanada will be unstoppable. But the same could be said about RC Velocity if their offense continues as it has so far. There's a lot of factors coming to this one. 2 teams of amazing offense, but this is it. The Grand Finals is here, and I don't think we need to wait any longer for it. RC Velocity take to the blue. Americanada is on the orange, and one more best of 7. The Ukiyo Esports Catalyst Cup has one more match to show. At the end of this, a champion will be crowned.
So right off kickoff here, we have Simsy taking a nice 50 in the air, forces down. Arias trying to get to it, get demoed on the rotate.
And coming into this match, Tesla, you mentioned a lot about Walker, but you've also told me a lot about Arias and Simsy. Do you want to kind of add a little bit more about what these players have done together?
I want to say that casting as opposed to just playing all the time gives you a different perspective on the game. And so what I've learned this year as I started casting is that 2 players in synergy, even in 3s, if they can work the 2-man game good, they can really cause a lot of trouble for a 3-man squad who doesn't have a pair clicking, because they've always got that 3rd guy back just collecting anytime they get beat on a challenge, and they're able to create a lot of offense with just 2 players. And in the last series, Arias and Simsy were very, very good at getting ahead of Walker with the ball, and Walker made a few goals himself, but those 2, their 2-man game for all 6 games in that series was just top notch.
Yeah, but right now they're facing a lot of offense here as RC Velocity. Oh, it's gonna fall in for Bricks, and RC will take goal 1. We've seen Bricks really lead the offense late in the semifinals, and once again, I mentioned it coming into this match, this offense from RC Velocity really is unmatched. If teams are gonna beat them, it's going to be through shutting them down, not letting them start the offense, because once they get things started, RC Velocity, they're like a freight engine. Once they get things started, once they start going, you really just can't stop them.
And so it seem like their rotations are pretty solid, but the way the defense is, or the way the offense has been poured on thus far, Sporty, Their rotations are going to have to be tighter, and their boost management is as well. As you see here, both players in net have about a quarter of a boost tank between the two of them, and that's not going to get it done if they're about to start raining shots down again.
And Americanada will go the other way here, as here goes Walker. We said it. I've said it already. He's the player I'm going to be looking out for this matchup, because I've seen him so many times before. Used to go by the name of Not Pori, LOL, and, well, now he goes by Walker. Still the same person, and still very similar in his playstyle from all that time ago. Back, I think, on Phantom Gaming, if I want to say. That's an old organization that I haven't seen in a very long time, but that was the org I remember seeing him first on, and what really struck to me is his mechanical ability, but he won't be needed here, as Simpsy gets that first goal for Americanada, as Bricks got bumped out, and, well, that was just perfect timing from Walker, because there was nobody else back, and had Bricks not been bumped, I would expect him to make the save there.
But if you see there, the two-man game again, Simsy and Arias are on that side. Arias takes a 50 that falls right down to Simsy, and the bump opens the net, and he puts it in. They are clicking tonight.
That's what's going to make Americanada so fun. It's why they're one of the top teams this season, is because of that chemistry. I mean, so many times with rosters like these, but aren't under any organization, it's really a mixed bag of what you're going to get. Are they going to work together? Or are they just a group of 3 players trying to make things work? But Americanada, they've got the teamwork down. They've got the structure. This is not any ordinary not team without an organization. And they're really fighting for it all here as Simpsy cleared away. Walker looking for goal. That's going to go off the back wall. Bricks is going to have a tough time making this, and he's not going to get there in time. And it's left in the midfield. LeJit, who's already playing in this first matchup, usually in the last 2 matches he's played, he's been subbed in midway through after RC Velocity lost 1 or 2 games. And playing him immediately here. He's had an amazing night so far when he's playing, and with him playing, the one thing you're going to watch out for is Bricks, because he gives Bricks space, but right now Bricks doesn't have space. Americanada connecting on the passes, and look, it's Simpsy and Arias again now with the roles reversed.
ESPN, write me a check. I called this at the start of the series. These two guys are clicking tonight, Sporty. Again, we see it, and they take a 1-goal lead.
You really do. That passing is going to be tough to beat. Even RC Velocity against teams like Affinity Mirage hasn't seen that kind of passing nearly as strong as that, and that's an Affinity Mirage team that is known for their passing plays, but Americanada really is one-upping on the ability to get the ball to each other. As Alert off the back wall. Area stopped by Bricks as he'll get there first. Is up the side wall again. Cleared away, but a double commit for RC Velocity will give Americanada room to work with a Simpsy. Bit of an awkward time here handling this ball. Will not be able to get through Bricks, and now Americanada both not enough huddled in the back corner. This is an awkward play to be, but great job from Arias to slow the play down, give his team time to come back, and now he wins another challenge. Americanada given time, given room, and Arias giving them all they need to mount a counterattack.
So Arias is able to get enough challenges for someone to get behind him, and it's Simsy, and so they're able to clear the ball out of their half, and now they'll get a turn to put a few shots on net. And if you're RC Velocity here, like you started off strong, but you give up 2 unanswered, make that 3 unanswered, you gotta find an answer. You're gonna drop game 1 quick.
And this game really is getting away from Americana. You said once they get their groove going, this team just scores over and over. You said it. They don't really have that many close games against their opponents. It's either they dominate or their opponents dominate. And I think right now the former is happening. But Velocity have an answer. It's Bricks with his second. And I said it earlier tonight. Bricks has been their lead scorer, and he's going to be a player to watch out for. Specifically the way he works around LeJit. You never really see these two both on offense at the same time, but whenever LeJit's not playing offense, Bricks is. Whenever Bricks is playing offense, LeJit stays back, and it's really a tandem sort of play with Alert kind of floating in the middle of everything. Definitely focus on those two and the way they rotate around each other, because, simply put, they both have so much respect for each other on offense, they're never really going to see them both play and overcommit.
And so coming out here, only down 1 now, they seem to be trying to pick up where they just left off with that last goal. LeJit with a great touch towards the net. Simply will get that to the corner. Bricks now. Oh, nice last touch by him. Alert may get this over. It's just not moving fast enough, and an Orange player is able to get behind it. LeJit now trying to challenge. Great touch by LeJit.
Yeah, but the play just isn't connecting there for RC, and LeJit doesn't have any boost. Walker! You can't give him room! We said it before, he's got the mechanics to boot, and when you give this guy an open back wall, he's going to score every single time.
Great control by him on the chip to immediately use a square button to get right behind the ball and follow it quickly. And that'll be a 2-goal lead for Americanada coming out here with only 15 seconds remaining.
Bricks, midfield. Alert was trying to rush into this one, but will be kept away. And I think for RC Velocity, the big issue this game was that they could not get their offense out early enough. Americanada, that connection on offense really is helping them. It's Arius and it's Simpsy who are both making things happen, and really it feels even between the output that these two are bringing. Americanada, if they can really rely on Arius and Simpsy on that connection, it's going to be very tough for RC Velocity to keep up with them.
Americanada picking up where they left off in the last series. Third game in a row they've won, and they'll get off to a one game lead here in the grand final.
Yeah, again, a reminder for everybody who's watching it that these teams do both have tactical timeouts. I'm sure we will likely see them used in this grand finals. It all comes down to kind of how these teams play, how confident they are as well. So far, Americanada proving that, again, that connection on offense is going to be lethal unless RC Velocity can do something to stop them. We go back in to game number 2 now, and Americanada proving that that offense that they have is going to be tough to contend with. RC Velocity, they've got their own offense. They've got an offense of their own, one that loves a high volume of shots. We didn't really see it at sort of last game, and I think that's what cost them. They can get off to a much faster start, and here, things may turn around in their favor. Oh, but it won't be that way. My goodness, Arias. Forget about anything I just said. Americanada does not care. They're taking names right now, and RC Velocity is struggling to keep up with them.
It's a great boost managed by Arias on that. He gets the ball and he doesn't use any until after it hits the wall, so he can conserve some, but he's able to get a hard enough shot to get over the defense, so it doesn't matter. Americanada, again, they just are on a roll right now and are feeling it.
Corner, LeJit, trying to find some. Oh, Boomin said he's just flicked this one for somebody to take, and Arias will be the one to do it. It's gone off the back post, but Americanada almost stealing a second one there as RC Velocity not looking nearly as confident as they were in their semifinals. This is not a team that has an easily counterable playstyle like we saw earlier from Affinity Mirage, a team that mostly plays defensively. Americanada mostly plays aggressively. As another chance, it's Walker, and again, you just can't give him space. Once you do, you're all over here, and Walker from point-blank range is not missing as Arias just leaves it up for his taking.
So Walker now has matched his goal total for the whole semifinal with 3 here in the grand final.
Step up, I would say, for Walker, and I mean, everybody from Americanada trying to make things happen. And as I said before, if Walker starts moving, this team's unstoppable. You cannot let Walker score this often against you, because Americanada, that's just another threat that they have and will use against you, and you really need to limit those threats. As Arias, infield, Walker, bang! 3 goals, 2 from the captain, and Americanada continuing to look unstoppable.
And that's, man, this Americanada swarming the net. They're getting 1 touch into the blue half, then all 3 guys are swarming it, and they're just touching it so fast, they're just overwhelming the RC Velocity defense, and they have a 3-goal lead here in game 2.
Didn't really see the RC Velocity defense tested all that often in their semifinals matchup. Here in the grand finals, you can tell they maybe would have preferred a team that would have tested a little bit more here, as already free for Americanada, and it doesn't seem like it's going to be done anytime soon, although LeJit will go for offense. Simpsy, Arias, Alert, Americanada, and I think what's the big important thing about Americanada, this is not like that usual sort of oppressive offense, one that stays so aggressive. It's an offense that really just plays quick, and they play in a way where they just don't make mistakes. This is a team that is fast, plays to each other, knows each other. It's not a team that holds offense for very long, but they don't need to. Their offense is just that effective at getting goals that quickly. They don't need much time at all.
As the clear goes up the field, Alert tries to cut it off, because this is what happens. They get a big clear, and then all 3 of them get moving upfield, and none of them are missing their touches. And here again, Walker now leaves something. Alert's able to get it into the blue corner. Seems he's going to try to cut this off. Oh, Walker not turning around to play it, even though he had boost. Wondered about that decision, but Arias has got boost and control in the middle of the net. Oh, heads up play by Bricks there.
Again, Bricks himself is a player that really stepped up in game 1 for RC Velocity, kept this thing close when it really didn't feel like it deserved to be, but you can't rely on Bricks alone to get your offense if you're RC Velocity. You need to get more involved. As an infield play won't go very far here, as Simpsy meets the challenge. Now Arias They'll clear this one away as alerts next to it. Walker. Ceiling. Bricks. Players jumping in, but it is room that RC Velocity will clear the ball with. Simpsky. Great control up the back wall, but he doesn't get another touch on this one. Giving space to RC Velocity to work with as an infield play. Legend can't find the net though, and Americanada happy to move around here. They're just waiting for that chance to break out to get to offense, and this might be it. Simpsky. Arias. Oh, it's a great catch, and he's got a chance to score from here. Arias gets them all to go, but Arias is not stopped. Americanada with a fourth, and Arias will go 1v3, and he comes out on top.
That's a brilliant shot coming out of Arias there and beats all 3 defenders, too. I mean, I guess it really would have been bad even if he's only able to get a touch to the back wall because they all 3 committed. So he had 2 teammates waiting to tap that in should it get off the wall. But he won't need the help, and that's 4-0 now. And again, Americanada's rolling right now, and it seems like maybe RC Velocity is pressing when they're even getting possession, like they're rushing their touches because they're in such a hurry to try to get some of this back.
Really does feel like it's a match where RC Velocity has met their match in terms of how much offense these teams can bring. Americanada is just doing it better right now as Alert clears it away. Walker waits back, but Alert will keep this. Arias to the corner. Room that Americanada can work with as he goes down under 1. Now Bricks wins that challenge. RC Velocity going to attack the nets, but Americanada is giving them nothing as Arias. Plus the map goes Alert, but Walker, no second touch. RC Velocity's waiting for it as they'll clear it again. Off the corner. Oh, it's a whiff as well. RC trying to walk in here, but Americanada will clear it away again, and now an overcommit. RC Velocity forced to go back. That's just going to waste even more time here on Forbidden Temple.
Yeah, that's 20 seconds left. If you're RC Velocity, you just want to see something hit the back of the nylon because getting shut out is just not the way you want to go down 0-2. And if you're Americanada, since you called your timeout in the semifinals, you are rolling. Timeout buff is real. I just didn't know it extended between series.
I mean, to be fair, the thing is, RC Velocity's been waiting. They won their series before yours ended, before the other semifinals ended, and I mean, you can tell maybe Americana maybe a little bit warm after that, but that can't explain everything about what we're seeing here. This has been dominant so far from Americanada. Their offense really is unmatched right now as Walker, backwall, Simpsy looking for one more. They'll get it with Arias and Americanada 5-0 in game 2. This is a grand finals, mind you, and I think Americanada are treating it like it's their playground.
Well, I really appreciate it being gone away with 0 seconds, and then that was a great rally by both teams to keep that up for probably close to 30 seconds before Americanada is able to tap that in for their 5th goal. And so they'll take a commanding 2-0 lead here. Looking good in the grand final.
Yeah, I really wonder if RC Velocity is going to choose to use that tactical timeout. They didn't use it. They didn't use it in their semifinals, I know for a fact, but then again, they won 4-1. They do have that ability to use it here as, again, we'll see what they do here. They also potentially go for a sub change. Again, they have subs available tonight for RC Velocity, and they are going to call a sub change immediately. Legend's leaving. I bet we're going to be seeing Matt jump in for them. That's their team captain.
I feel like,
and he's been solid tonight.
When I got to call them Sporty, that's who played. It was Bricks, Legend, and Matt. I haven't got a chance to see Alert yet before tonight.
Well, obviously, it hasn't made the biggest difference in this matchup, but yeah, Legend's going to be subbed out. I think Matt's going to be the one subbed in, so for RC Velocity, we've seen Matt before. The way he plays, he oftentimes plays a very mechanical playstyle, so they might be choosing Matt to try to kind of keep up with what Walker is doing on the other side of the field. You know, have a mechanical player, meet a mechanical player, and have the rest of the team deal with Arias and Simpsy's passing sort of play. We'll see what difference it makes, but Matt's got mechanics. He'll definitely be able to keep up with what Walker is doing. It really just comes down to, can they keep up with the passing? Can they keep up with the connections? And can Matt find some plays to work? We've been seeing him go for a lot of double taps tonight, and I wouldn't be too surprised if we see him go for a couple here in the grand finals when his team needs him. Matt, again, is that team captain for RC Velocity. If anyone's a step up now, it will have to be him. As we are, again, going to be going to Game 3 soon. I think this is kind of unprecedented to see how Americanada is doing for RC Velocity. I mean, so far, they've looked incredible. But again, that offense really being met, it really does. I don't know if you're seeing this too, but it really feels like it's a mashup of two similar playstyles, and Americana's doing it better. Well, Tesla's not here, so we'll see if we can get Tesla back. He may have...
sorry. I'd muted to cough and forgot to hit the button. All I was saying was, they're all having boosts when they press across midfield, and so when one of them gets a hard touch at the wall or the corner, the second man is beating to the next touch, and if it doesn't go in, the third man is oftentimes beating to the committed player and putting it in the back of the net. And so when you're getting no fakes on the when you're playing offense, it's all just solid touches and they're finding the net. It's just really hard to have defense against that.
It is very tough to have defense against players like those on Americanada. But again, Matt's been subbed in. He'll be replacing LeJit for RC Velocity. So going to the substitutes, I think for the third time tonight, I want to say. They've gone for it a couple times already, so we'll just have to see how this works. But again, Matt, he's going to play a specific way where he's going to be the one who really tries to take this game by the horns. He's definitely a solo-based player, not really as much of a team-based player as we saw LeJit earlier. So it's going to make things very interesting here as when Matt's on the ball, he's really going to be working for himself. Not as much for his teammates, and he's got the mechanics that he can go by himself. It just is how he's going to do against the Americanada team that's so mechanical that he's going to be able to keep up with him. Again, I think more so than not, his job is going to be one to shut down what Walker is doing right now. Keeping Walker out of the way, making him quiet, because if Walker's quiet, maybe we see RC Velocity have a bit more of a chance in this one.
Arias as well. Can't take Arias has had the goal of the series thus far with that nasty air carry out of the corner last game.
Oh!
What a play. And Arias with a great pass upfield, right back. Simsy, great heads-up play by him to not just jump off the wall and try to rotate back, but see what's happening since his team was the first to the ball and they hit it right back to him and he puts it in.
Yeah, oftentimes that position, it's going to be Simski's call if he wants to collect that pass, and I'm sure both him and Arias, again, you mentioned they have that connection. That's not an ordinary passing play. Most players don't go for that. It's not a general rotation, and yet you see Arias and Simski. This is not normal. This is a team that finds that spaces. Oh, we're going to get a game crash here. Somebody crashed. That is goal one here. Unfortunately, because a goal's been scored, this game continues, and that means Americanada playing 3v2 for the time being as Bricks is gone for the time being, and Arias looking for another one. Simsi, 2! And Americanada, they're taking full advantage of the 3v2 now. And with this odd man positioning, they have a massive lead. We'll see what these teams do. I'm going to ask if these teams want to reset. They may get a call for a reset here, but so far, Americanada, again, 2 goals, and RC Velocity has stopped moving here. And we'll see what these teams do. They're going to say they want a reset, so we're going to give them a reset here. So both teams going for a reset. Fair play for Americanada. They already scored before the technical issue there, but fair play to Americanada to to call for the reset as well. Very fair play for them, and that's a nice play for Americanada in this grand finals. And for RC Velocity, we're going to hope that their technical issues do get fixed as we're going to reset the lobby here in game number 3. So while we do get a reset here, Americanada, again, fair play to them, right? I think that's very nice of them because they absolutely are not required to call for the reset as well. It is completely up to them, but the fact that they went for it, that's very nice of them.
Well, I think they may have agreed in chat, Sporty, to a gentleman's give the goal back. So we may see them let them tap one goal in to get their 1-0 lead back before we continue. And so that's a heads-up play out of both squads. And we don't want to see technical difficulties mar the grand final. So it's good to see sportsmanship from all the contestants.
Yeah, as we're going to keep up our grand finals. That means game 3 will be erased as we know it. And we'll be going into a reset here. So both teams are going to reset at 0-0 at 5 minutes back on the clock. And for Americanada and RC Velocity, hopefully we'll get the technical issues fixed. It was Bricks who, I think, had a game crash, so we're going to hopefully get that all sorted out here as we're back in. So these teams already going back into the game, and again, for now, it really is going to be Americanada, RC Velocity back in, and again, we reset the 0-0, but yeah, you said it, I think there's going to be a gentleman's agreement here that Americanada will get their goal back, and yeah, RC Velocity is going to give it to them, so they're going to get their goal back. That's very nice from RC Velocity as well, and that means our game 3 continues here. 5 minutes, so 1-0 lead immediately for Americanada. Neither of these teams really feel that hurt about it, and that's a good thing, right? I think that neither of these teams are really feeling all that hurt.
I'm here for it. We get extra Rocket League time, so we get bonus time without the overtime.
we've had a very long break now between game 2 and game 3, and maybe that helps a little bit RC Velocity, although not really much, considering that it was them who had the tactical issue as Simpsy will clear it away as RC Velocity trying to get that goal back, and more importantly for them, it's get themselves back into a normal rotation here. Oh, well, look at this match taken out there. You saw it immediately as well. Walker now will go down the field. Simpsy looking for number 2. It will be Matt the save, and Americanada back on their offensive play again. I don't think... Again, they're going to continue their offense, continue their plays, continue looking for goals. Matt doesn't read this. Bricks will clear. Walker up the back wall. And right now for RC Velocity, already feeling the pressure that Americana has done every single game so far.
I mean, they just swarm, and Simsy there to collect that in midfield again, and the 50 goes across to 2 teammates waiting, and they just can't. Once they get a solid foothold on offense, RC Velocity cannot push them back.
Oh, Walker, look at this! Oh, he's going for the double tap, but it's stopped at the last moment by Matt, and I said it as well. That's going to be Matt's job for RC Velocity. Not let Walker do what he wants to do. Not let Walker get his space, not let Walker go for solo plays, and not let Walker shoot. Because if Walker's getting that kind of space in the air, he will score. So Matt, I think, is going to take more of a defensive positioning, even though he's been more aggressive in most of his positions in these series. He's going to play more defensive just to make sure that Walker doesn't do what he can do.
That's controlled by Bricks here to take a 50, leave it in front of the orange net. As Arias tries to go up for it. Bricks with a double tap, but it goes the wrong way. But Alert's able to get a demo. Simsy just swarming on the ball. No respect for Bricks' attempt to control it there, or Matt's attempt, rather, to control it.
And RC Velocity holding on to this offense for a relatively long amount of time here. The longest they've ever had a continuous stay on offense, but even then it comes up fruitless. But it's better signs now that we're seeing them hold offense for longer times, getting better chances. Now just about being able to find chances good enough to score. As another great touch. Walker, back wall. Matt again waiting for him, and Americanada. Less goals now that Walker has really not been able to get involved, and that means we're going to see them rely more on Arias and Simpsys on their passes. Can those connect? Because if they can, that's something that RC Velocity still isn't ready for, and hasn't really made any major adjustments to adapt to. So for Americanada, they've lost one part of their offense. Can they have the other part improve despite it?
And then, as you say that, the one goal
goodness.
that they gave back.
Oh, no!
Oh, great two-man play coming out of Arias and Walker this time.
Yeah, it was an overcommit too, and RC Velocity. I remember talking with that sketch in the semifinals because he's seen this team all day, and he mentioned one of the big issues for RC. If they start to get very annoyed, they overcommit, and they overcommit quite often. This is a team that didn't overcommit much against Affinity, but against more aggressive teams, especially teams that have leads against them, they start to push up a bit too high, and Matt specifically is known to be someone who definitely does overcommit, so that's going to be a bit of an issue here for them, because now that Matt's playing, overcommits are going to become more prevalent for them, and Americanada, with the way that they've been able to walk downfield, are going to score on those overcommit opportunities.
Yeah, and so we less than 2 minutes left in game 3 here, and again, it's looking like if they can't find something quick here, RC Velocity is going to be trying to work for the reverse sweep. And shout out to Rafik C, who's in chat. He is the one who called out Walker in the semifinal. Walker has really stepped up. Like I said, he had more goals in the middle of last game than he had in the whole previous series, and he's really showing out here in the grand final.
He really has been a true captain's effort, and you know what? Speaking of Walker, he's now got a hat trick this game as well. Americanada just letting Walker do his thing. Even though RC Velocity's been able to slow down Walker, he's just picked it right back up, finding a whole new gear to take down RC Velocity. All goals this game are off of Walker's car, and Americanada, man, we said it. Can Walker step up? And I thought it was going to be more of a mechanical show from Walker. He's just doing the fundamentals at this point. Just doing what he needs to do, putting on great efforts, and really finishing off the plays that his teammates start.
Yeah, so he's got that gives him 7 goals through the first 3 games of this series with a minute left in the third one. So he's definitely pouring it on here in the grand final, showing people why he's the captain of the team, and giving max effort here to try to get his boys to the finish line, get a trophy here at the end of the Catalyst Cup.
Rex able to win another chance to Americanada to score, but here goes Simpsky off the back wall. Alert. Arias. That's a Great first touch. He'll get a second one as well. In goes Walker. Alert's got no boost, but the shot is straight to him. Americanada will go again, but that clear is going to go all the way back to Matt. Second touch. Bricks. With 30 seconds to go, Simpsy won't let him go through. Matt now. The dribble to the corner. Matt. No second touch. Alert goes for the net. It's saved away. Bricks to the corner. Oh my goodness, what a second touch that is, but a bit too much power on that one, and Americanada will clear again. Walker will be met by Alert. Matt's gonna clear, but Americanada happy to let this ball roll and let this game end 3-0 up against RC Velocity. Americanada might do something undisputed and sweep the grand finals. They're only one game away, and as expected, the tactical timeout now called by RC Velocity.
And so, again, the timeout buff is real. Americanada yet to drop a game since their timeout in the semifinals. They're on a 5-game win streak going into game 4 here, up 3-0.
And what I find even more incredible, RC Velocity, I don't think they've scored in the last 2 games, haven't they? That's what I find really impressive, that RC Velocity's offense has essentially been rendered mute at this point in the series.
And I think they only scored 1 in the first game.
No, they scored 2. They scored 2.
Okay.
They scored 2, but that's been it. It might as well be one. It doesn't make much of a difference, does it? Here, because, yeah, they've only scored 2 goals in 3 games. Simply put, you're not going to win any grand finals, but I think that's really more of a testament to Americanada. This team has completely shut down RC Velocity, suffocated the only thing they had, which was their offense, and has left them out to dry. It's another minute to go here in this tactical timeout, but I'm very worried if I'm RC Velocity, because simply put, they have not found any reason that they should be able to beat Americanada right now.
And it even looks like they possessed the ball more in that game, too. Statistically, did RC Velocity, but it doesn't matter. Americanada consistently finding shots that hit the back of the net.
And that's been it for the whole series as well. RC Velocity have really won midfield, but Americanada just have a better offense. They have a much better offense, and again, all these players on Americanada are just so scary when it comes to offense. They don't need to win midfield because they're just so fast at putting in goals. It doesn't take them very long before they can find that net, and again, they're 3-0 up now in this grand finals. There is a real interesting worry now for all these teams, as we are going to be going into game number 4 here. The tactical timeout is over, and that means it's game 4. RC Velocity now have no more chances left. Americanada, they win. They're champions in the grand finals, and RC Velocity have not been able to put much up against them here. Can game 4 be what turns it around? You've said it, Americanada, a 5-game win streak so far in this final bracket. Now, can they make it 6 and end their night early?
They come out early here. RC Velocity tries to keep up a little pressure, but Simpsy able to get control and carry it all the way to the blue end. Even though this will be cleared back, Walker with full boost waiting on it. Not the best first touch. Oh, and then Arias with the fake. Simpsy now going to take a crack at it. We'll jockey for position here in the first 30 seconds of game 4. Oh, nice pop though, Walker. Might have been a little miscommunication there with both players being up in the air for that ball, but they'll be able to get back and cut it off, so no one will punish there.
And I think what's really going to change here is if RC Velocity can get that first goal, just get a goal. They haven't scored again in just about 2 games worth of time. If they can't score here, their run is very well and truly over, and it's not starting off well because they've just thrown it away. Walker once more. What is it? Is this 8 goals now this whole entire series he's had?
Yep, that's Walker's 8th goal, but it's his 4th one in a row on the whole server.
I can't believe what he's been doing so far. Walker is just taking... He has stepped up when his team needs him, and RC Velocity, again, completely shut down. Now he goes again. The fake under Bricks. One-on-one with Matt. Walker trying to force him, bump him. Simpsy scores, and Walker again just can't be stopped.
Yeah, Walker just causing enough havoc after he follows to the ground. He and Matt take a 50 with the ball, but he just stays close, and he taps it around Matt, and it's just floating there, suspended in open space, and Simpsy taps it in, and it's 2-0 here in game 4. And if you're RC Velocity, that's not what you're looking for here in what could be the decider.
Open net here. Matt just missed. Alert! Finally, after, what is it? almost 2.5 games worth of time. RC Velocity finally break the curse, but my goodness, it has been like 12 minutes of them not scoring. They really needed that.
Yes, that at least they got to be feeling a little better about their chances, finally seeing one hit the back of the nylon.
Oh, look at this, a double fake kickoff, and Americanada weren't ready for that, as Walker's gonna kick this one away. Simply challenged by Matt, and Bricks comes in, looks for number 2, and he will. RC with a second in a row. They just needed to get a goal here, and now things are really heating up.
Yeah, so they caught Americanada completely off guard with the kickoff strat, and they're able to work it to a quick goal. And so they tie it up here with 3:25 remaining in Game 4.
Well, yeah, I think the real irony is that Americanada went for a Spanish kickoff, so they went really aggressive on that play, hoping that RC Velocity would hit it straight to them. When RC Velocity played for the fake, well, they had no other options left. They had to go back to defense, but they had already sent 2 players upfield. And simply put, you just aren't going to be able to defend easily with one player waiting in net as another player in front. Walker flicks it by Alert. Matt will go to the back corner as Americanada chasing him down. Cleared away as Arias will wait as Alert's got possession. Still Alert. Flicks it high is Alert, but Arias will be there and will keep it up the back wall. Americanada keep possession, will keep the challenges going, and will again look to reassess the situation and shut down RC Velocity's offense once more.
And Americanada must be wise to Matt's mechanical ability, because they're challenging him high on the wall, off the ceiling. They're giving him 0 space anytime he gets boost in possession. So it must be something that they've seen. Maybe they played him already this season or have scrimmaged against him and know what he's about when he gets the ball, because they've done a really good job of not giving Matt any space.
I can definitely tell you they haven't played each other this season. They're both from different groups, but Americanada, as you said, are definitely trying to play wise to what RC Velocity is bringing against them here. As Simpsy, it's a bit of an awkward touch there, as that's not much better as well. Alert. The ceiling here will leave it for Matt. Arias to the corner. Bricks. Walker will send this one away. Alert will collect. Staying tied. RC Velocity need their chance. Alert. The pinch goes nowhere. It's a 3v1 the other way. Walker to Arias to the goal. No, it's wide, and Bricks will save it away anyways. RC Velocity run back to the way, and now it's really a battle of counterattacks. These teams aren't spending much time on offense at all. It's all about being able to catch each other by the element of surprise. Oh, look at this one, Bricks. He's gonna flip. Oh, Bricks, no way. Oh, he's put it in. Bricks stays with it, and RC Velocity take the lead.
Yeah, that's a great heads-up play by Bricks there to put his team up 1 with less than 90 seconds remaining, possibly pushing this to a Game 5.
This series has definitely had its fair share of incredible moments, but how incredible it would be for RC Velocity to make a comeback happen. Bricks across the goal will be Matt, as this one laying in the midfield for Simpsy. The dribble. Simpsy to the back wall, no second touch, and in comes Walker from way downtown. He'll go to the sky. Walker with room, second! Oh
wow.
My goodness, Walker! Americanada stand on their captain's shoulders once more.
And this is a beautiful play by Walker. You could tell at some point as he's going up that he read the waterfall bounce, and so he starts readjusting his car to catch it just when it sneaks under the crossbar. Great play out of him to tie it up with a minute remaining.
Americanada, they really do not want to see any more games. And it's Walker specifically, who may have just redeemed himself for his relatively quiet previous matches inside the blue half of the field. Will be cleared back though as Bricks. Walker is waiting. Simpsy. He'll look for the clear, but it doesn't go very far. Matt's jumping, so is Walker. Arias, he doesn't have a great touch on this play. In fact, he's just going to get barely enough on this one to allow that ball away from his net. Alert. Oh, he's been taken out by Walker. Arias. Low boost will force Bricks to challenge. Now Matt. 2 players for RC in that back corner. Very awkward place to be because you can't really escape that spot very easily. And again, it is just RC Velocity who just can't seem to find easy offense for themselves as Matt. Walker. Alert. 10 seconds to go. Oh, it's a double commit here. 2 players ran into each other. Walker to take advantage. Simpsy cleared away by Matt. Arias, can he get back? Oh, he can. It's off the post. Saved it just in time. And we go to overtime off an incredible goal line stand.
Wow, heads up play by Arias there. I thought that last second touch the other way was going to find the back of the net and end this, but we get overtime in game 4.
RC Velocity need to score here to keep the series going. For Americanada, they're 1 goal away from being immortalized as ATS legends in our Ukiyo Esports Catalyst Cup. Alert! The dribble, Bricks, Matt to the corner, Simpsy will keep this one airborne, but time ticks away. At this point now, it's not a question of when, but who, and it will be somebody who will score here. Bricks, Arias, just to clear this one out. Americanada a lot more defensive now than they were earlier in this matchup. I think for them, that tactical timeout has definitely slowed them down. As Bricks, he had a free shot there, and rarely do we see Americanada wait for a shot like that. But we did there, and that's because they're running low on resources. Walker's only got half a tank, but he won't even get by Bricks. Simpsy to the corner, taken out by Bricks as Matt. Simpsy! Under the bar, Americanada sneak by and win it!
And the timeout buff is real, I guess, for Americanada for sure. And they get the overtime goal here to win game 4 by a score of 4-3. And they end this bracket on a 7-game winning streak. What a run. And shout out to Walker. He assisted or scored on 6 of the last 7 goals scored by Americanada here to close this thing out. Put the team on his back.
Americanada. My goodness, that is an incredible performance. A 4-0 sweep, that's unprecedented. Rarely do we have our grand finals end that one-sided. I mean, so far this season, we haven't had any grand finals end in a sweep like that. That was impressive and incredible, and again, unprecedented to say the very least. We don't see sweeps in grand finals very often, simply put because our grand finals usually do have the best teams in it, but simply put, there was nobody that could keep up with Americanada tonight.
Yeah, and Walker stepping up big there in the final series. So I got to call their last 2. Walker really showing out in the last one. Arias, the glue guy in both series, was the definite 1A or 1B in both series. He played great, and can't say enough either about Walker showing up. Shout out to Rafixi, who called him out in the semifinal, and he really popped off going into this one. Wow, what an amazing series. What an amazing final bracket.
It really was something impressive to see from Americanada to go through and win this final bracket, because that, again, just doesn't happen easily. To go the whole distance to win that grand finals in a 4-0 sweep, that was a shutdown play from Americanada. They are your Ukiyo Esports Catalyst Cup champions. In fact, I believe they have actually just made ATS history as well. The first team to win the grand finals in a 4-0 sweep. So, making history now in the Ascent Tournament Series League is Americanada. Simply put, we've never seen a team in our league ever win their grand finals in a sweep.
Just their dominance, they were clicking. I saw it out of Simsy and Arias in the semifinal, and then Walker woke up in the grand final for real, put the team on his back. Including, like I said, in the last 2 games, scored or assisted on 6 of the last 7 goals. So you can't say enough about him. And I just want to say the Catalyst Cup was a great group of teams all season. I called a lot of matches for this, and they were all competitive, and I got to see lots of different play styles. So again, congratulations, Americanada, separating themselves from the rest of the pack and taking the win here in season 4.
It is season 4. Ukiyo Esports Catalyst Cup champions will be Americanada, and my goodness, I don't know if I could have thought of anyone who felt any more deserving of it at this point. Just seeing how they were playing, they really did deserve every bit of that championship. Congratulations to them. More than deserved, honestly, with the performance that they had. But again, I'm just impressed, to say the very least here, that Americanada, with how they played tonight, it felt like nobody knew them before tonight. Nobody had them. Not a lot of people had them winning, and well, I think all the analysts have now been proven wrong. That was beautiful. And, you know, before we potentially go into an interview with the Americanada, talk to me overall, just kind of like your thoughts. I mean, you mentioned already about how impressive this cup has been, but about the season as a whole, how has the season been? It really feels like it's been our biggest division so far, by far. And to see them play as well as they did, that is absolutely incredible.
Yeah. Again, I called probably this cup was the one I called the most matches for, and I had a chance to call both of these teams earlier this season. Um, I didn't think Americanada had that in them. Again, I called it when I saw the bracket. I thought Affinity Mirage was for sure going to win because they're such a solid squad and Gray is such a solid player. But Americanada just shows that this is the magic of why it's so much better to play these brackets all in one shot rather than play one or two games stretched out a day over several days, because you just have to get hot on one day. And it doesn't matter who's the best on paper, it's who's the best in the 5 minutes we're on the pitch. And Americanada showed that today. I doubt they were anyone's pick to win this. Not that they weren't a good team, it's just there was a lot of other strong competition. But they take it again, and I'm sure they'll be celebrating. Sweep, that ain't nothing to sneeze at.
Well, it is nothing to. It is nothing that is, to say anything about. That is an incredible performance from them here, as Americanada will win this one. And again, I am more than impressed with them. More impressed with this division as a whole. 32 teams, and you said it. Even when we got to the top 8, we could not decide of those 8 teams who could win, who could lose. That's really what I have to say here. As again, I don't know what to say, but what I can say is this is not the last of the season. We've got one more match. We've got one more final bracket tomorrow. The Team Evo Apex Cup plays tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern time to start, and that will be our last divisional season. It feels so crazy because season 4 has been amazing so far, and yet it's nearing its end.
Yeah, it's it has been quite an amazing season, and it's good to see that we've had like we had in this game, sportsmanship between all the contestants. We've seen some really great Rocket League. We've seen guys that play in a lot of these amateur leagues. There's been several players that have stood out that don't play in as many of them. And so, I think this is the first one I've been part of as a caster, Sporty, but I think it went well. I think it went really well.
As you said as well, and we are going to get an interview here with Americanada. They just took a little bit of time to respond, so while we get things set up right now, my goodness, what a night it has been. We're going to move to a new VC, so give us a minute or two, a moment or two, we'll get things sorted out. Here as we get everybody to move in and join here. So while we wait for Tesla, hopefully he'll be here. I hope he knows that I moved to a new VC. Tesla, he has not moved. 1 second, let me get Tesla. There we go. We'll get everybody in here. Welcome in Walker of Americanada, the team captain, jumping in. Your team has done something that has never been done in the ATS League in history, a 4 sweep in the grand finals, but more importantly, you are ATS Ukiyo Esports Catalyst Cup champions. How you feeling, Walker? Americanada, I don't think they were our top team coming in today, but they've definitely left as the best team in this division. How you guys feeling?
Hey, man, we're feeling pretty good. We had to take this dub because we've been trying so long to win a league. We've gotten top 4s, we've gotten a bunch of top 2s, but we could never win the league. Until finally we did it today with the 4-0 sweep.
Walker, I just want to say you popped off really big time in the grand finals there. And how do you feel about the way Simsy and Arias stepped up in the semifinals? It was a little quieter for you there, but those two were popping off like it was 2v3 and they had no problem handling it. So how do you feel about your teammates supporting you through this bracket?
Hey, man. We're all good as a team. All 3 of us on any day can be the best player. And I think we got the skill to where if one of us steps down, the other 2 can still keep it going, still get that dub for the team.
And that was one of the scary things about this Americanada team. You guys had a team it was not just one player who could really lead offense. It was 3. All 3 players could lead on offense. And again, we'll see how things go. But again, for now, I'm excited to see how things go, but again, Walker, you played well. 4-0 sweep. Talk to me about that grand finals, because you stepped up, but more importantly, you guys really just got into your groove there. It was 7 games straight. Tesla counted 7 straight games of not losing in our final bracket before you won the whole thing. I mean, that kind of a streak. After that tactical timeout in your semifinals, you know what? Why not talk to us about that tactical timeout in your semifinals? You guys used it in your semis against against LeJit Rose. After that, you guys just could not lose. What were you guys talking about in that tactical timeout in your semis before, again, going on a rampage, winning 4 games straight?
We took that timeout, and we just had to really remember who we are. We went 6-1 in the groups, but that loss we had, we honestly could have won that, and we did rematch them in the quarters, which we won. But we had to remember that we have what it takes. All we really said was like just calm harder, play more simple, be confident. And we knew that if we just played simple Rocket League, we had the skill to basically just outdo our opponents.
I mean, y'all played. Your two teammates stepped up so good in the semifinal, and someone in chat had said if Walker wakes up, and I can't say enough about the way you woke up in the grand finals. You assisted on 6 of the last 7 goals, and at one point in between games 3 and 4, you had scored 6 personally, and no one else in the server had scored a goal. I think you shot 80% over those last 2 games, which is a phenomenal shooting percentage. What for you was clicking? Because it looked like the ball was twice as big for you every time you got a touch.
I mean, honestly, I think I'm just a tournament player because I be playing ranked. I can't even get out of like 1500. Like, I'm always bad in ranked, but as soon as I play in the grand finals or just in the playoffs or in a season overall, something inside of me just switches. And I mean, I know what's on the line. I just got to go crazy.
And you did just that, and because you went crazy, as you say, in the grand finals, you're also our ATS final bracket MVP. So congratulations on a second accolade as well, Walker, MVP of the Ukiyo Esports Catalyst Cup playoffs.
Thank you, sir.
You guys have been, but simply put, you've mentioned as well, it's been a full team effort to get here. You had your moments where your teammates did it. We talked a lot about Simpsy and Arias in the series, how well they could connect. They made a lot of things happen for you in that grand finals. But of course, now your team has won. Now your team has gone through this whole thing as well. Talk to me about the future of Americanada, because it really feels like you guys just are a team that's working amazingly. Is this a one-season thing? Are you guys planning to continue together as a roster? Maybe we might see you next season in ATS?
That's actually an amazing question. So we formed Americanada. It was me and Arias. We've been a duo for like years. We picked up Simpsy. We just met him in a 3s ranked game. We saw the vision. We said, yeah, this guy has what it takes. We picked him up. We played a league called KRLS and got second place, of course. Going into this league, I got a job. Arias got a job. We all just started getting more busy. We haven't even scrimmed in like 2 or 3 months. Honestly, I was finna retire after this season. But, I mean, after that performance, I might have to reconsider.
Well, you can reconsider. I mean, there's no pressure if you choose to retire or not. If you do retire, you're retiring a champion, which I mean, there's no better place to leave off your career. But, I mean, you've been around for a while. I mean, many people know you as Not Pori, obviously. I remember you back on, Phantom Gaming, I think I mentioned was the work that I remember you from as well. Way back when. You've had a very long career. But you mentioned as well, you have not always, it's been tough to win championships recently. You know, talk to me about being able to win championships, being able to kind of keep up at the top even this many years later. And I mean years. Your career has been a one that's spanned over a very long amount of time.
Yeah, I really have been playing this for about competitive, probably like 2 or 3 years. I'd say there are 2 things that keep me and my team, I guess, placing at the top consistently. One of them is that we all watch RLCS, and I think watching RLCS is the best way to improve your game. Like, you'll get so much smarter. You'll always make the better plays. You just know what to do when you play RLCS. And I'm not even going to lie, I already forgot the second one, so just watch RLCS.
Well, hey Walker, you know what? You're giving people some tips here, but again, congratulations on your tournament win here for Americanada, and of course your now MVP accolade. Thank you so much for joining, Walker. Thank you so much for joining tonight.
Sir.
Before you leave, do you
Appreciate
have any shoutouts, any last things you want to say, anybody out there that you want to mention that's helped you out? Because I know you guys have a lot of fans watching you guys here, but so do you have anybody out there that you really want to support, want to shout out?
Hey, shout out to all the fans supporting in chat. Shout out to my team for stepping up on the day it matters. And shout out to ATS for running a very good league. Like, it was very professional. Nothing really went wrong. So shout out to you guys as well for putting this all together.
Well, again, congratulations on your performance here. Americanada has broke a new record in being the first team to win their grand finals in a sweep. But more importantly, Walker, you are ATS Ukiyo Esports Catalyst Cup winners along with the rest of Americanada. Thank you so much for joining, Walker. And again,
Yes, sir,
congratulations
I
on your win.
appreciate it.
Thank you so much for joining. Have a great night. Take care.
You too. Take care.
Well, WaTesla, what a night it has been. You know, and I think another fun statistic to talk about, before this season of ATS, every team that had made it to the grand finals was under some organization. This season, We have seen 3 teams make it to the grand finals on an organization, 2 of which have won, including Americanada. The other team being the Burger Joint, who won 3 weeks ago in the Sport FC Ascension Cup. But that marks the end of our Ukiyo Esports Catalyst Cup. Of course, tomorrow is our Team Evo Apex Cup. More action starting at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. But Tesla, I've been talking too much. Please talk, wrap things up. Do you have anything else you want to say? Any final message? Anybody out there you want to mention that you want to shout out before we end off our night?
Congratulations to Americanada. Shout out to all the teams that participated. A lot of y'all gave me the opportunity to cast early in the season when I was just getting started off. And it's really boomed. Like, I've picked up a ton, and I've really, really enjoyed it. Being brought in as part of the community. Shout out to for sure the all the people that come out and watch. I have this new problem now, Sporty, where I have commercials that I was not used to in the middle of my broadcast because so many people have been coming, and it has been the bane of my existence for the last week. But none of that would be possible without y'all. And I'm sure ATS continues to grow, and it's from all the passion of the fans as much as the players. It's a good thing here, and I think we got through season 4 great. We got one more grand final coming up to wrap it up, so catch us here tomorrow, and I'm looking forward to that for sure.
Of course, the Ascent Tournament Series Season 4 nears its close. I feel like I'm shedding a tear just saying that. It's been an amazing season so far. But to all of you who've been watching, thank you so much for joining us for the Ukiyo Esports Catalyst Cup. Again, shoutouts to our sponsors in Ukiyo Esports and to all the sponsors that have helped us out this season. Again, Ukiyo Esports, Sporty FC, actually that's myself, that's fun, Team Evo, House Wiffendor, and 135 Esports. But to all of you watching, thank you so much. You guys are what makes this happen. I'm Sporty FC. Joining me again was WaTesla. We'll get you information on the sign-ups for Season 5 very soon, but for now, take care, have a great night. We'll see you again tomorrow when the Team Evo Apex Cup final bracket begins. See you then.
Peace.